Yo, what's up, guys? We're here, we're hanging, we're chilling. It's Friday. HMG SmackDown, watch along and bell count. How y'all doing? Always a pleasure getting to hang and chill with you guys. You got RBV in the house with the sweet release, and more releases are coming out. We'll talk about that tonight. How y'all doing? Hope you're having a great Friday, ready for a great weekend. Let's get it, pal. What are your bell counts, Yeet?
I was going to say, I got my pen here. I don't know if we're going to be tracking belt counts or release counts by the time we get through this episode here tonight. Hopefully maybe we get Vet. If he's out there, give a shout out to get some insight, his opinion. I just, my kind of initial thought is, a few of them, but that we could really get a great perspective from Vet is we are getting these just hours before they go live for, one of the weekly flagship programs. So what is that vibe? What is that energy like in the locker room?
Man, to be honestly, I'm going to throw a curveball out there. I think there are some guys that might be feeling relieved. Like, oh, thank God it's not me.
Yeah, I think there is. Well, there might be, there probably always is that, especially this time of year, post WrestleMania, when we start getting these future endeavors, you get the layoffs. Of course, thank God it's not me, because you're going to keep your job. But I'm also going to say there probably is a small bit of sadness. You see people go, but it is a major part of the business. Professional wrestling rolls on. It's one of the great things that we don't have an off season. These things are going to happen. The show must go on. They continue to roll on. Sure, especially if it was someone you're close to. Goddamn, that sucks. They're not going to be around here. If you're cut, though, what is that reaction there? What's the best way to handle this? We're getting some of them already. I've seen where Cora Jade, her first tweet, thankful for the opportunity to live out her childhood dream, but she's got a lot to say when the time is right. Shayna Baszler said she's got one thing over everybody, reality. She sounds like she's got some stuff that she might want to get off her chest as well. We'll keep our eye on it. We got William Alcia Frida Scoops over in the chat there. I'm sure he's coming on Facebook. I got a private chat with him where he's just updating us all in our producer chat. Jerica Jackson also gone.
All right, that would explain why they split up the meta group then on Tuesday. They're keeping last.
I guess a little bit. They all kind of went their separate ways there. Nothing really surprising. All right, so an updated list so far as we are live. LA Night, get things going from Des Moines, Iowa. The original home there, Iowa, the Hawkeyes, home of our Michael Jargo, relocated to Indianapolis. But right now we got Braun Strowman. That's kind of a surprise. He was a major player going into WrestleMania, but left off WrestleMania is an indicator. Shayna Baszler, Dakota Kai, Caden Carter, Katana Chance, Cora Jade, Gigi Dolan, and Eddie Thorpe.
Wow. Of course, the Braun Strowman one doesn't really surprise me all that much because of Paul Heyman burying him on Pat McAfee last week.
So who was it?
Braun Strowman.
What did he say about him?
Oh, he said he had an interaction with Braun Strowman backstage about how he was upset about not being on the WrestleMania card. Well, you're not on WrestleMania, and Paul said, "Well, yeah, you're not on WrestleMania because you suck."
Oh,
I'm like,
okay.
Wow. You got Jay Hall in the house. What's up, man? Good to see you. Whoop whoop.
Yeah, I missed that part of that there. Yeah, but because Jimmy T and I over on the Smack Attack, up to that run, we were wondering, because Braun was very heavily involved in that mid-card, that U.S. title picture, and we had thought maybe that was going to be like that multi-man cluster fuck of a match. Obviously, they whittled that down to just LA Knight and Jacob Fatu. But yeah, not to see him involved there, a little telling. Ben had been preaching that. Watch who's not on this card, who could be on their way out. Absolutely. They got Braun Strowman there at the top of that list. Shayna Baszler, not really a big surprise. I don't know if Gigi just, involved in some big payoffs there for NXT. Not really a big surprise there as well. Cora Jade, injury prone, hasn't been able to stay healthy. Maybe some backstage issues with her. Maybe some were surprised by Dakota Kai. I don't know. I personally never seen it with her. And now that you have got of all these actual great talents from NXT in the women's division making their move to the main roster, that level of the Dakota Kais, they all need to be on alert because they're coming for them. I didn't even say that even the upper echelon needs to be watching their spots right now because this group, Stephanie, Perez, Julia, there's a few others, 2 or 3 others that are ready from NXT that are ready to take those prime spots on the main roster for the women's division.
Yo, what's up, Gruss? Doing well. How it do with you, Yeet? And we got Lab Rat. How y'all doing?
All right, in the chat, man, let us know what releases so far you are surprised about. We're talking about fighting for position. That's what our opening is here on Friday Night SmackDown. Again, coming from Des Moines, Iowa, in the sweet, sweet Midwest. We got Damian Priest and LA Knight out here. You got yourself with her. I'm guessing from what I heard there, they're kind of going back and forth about who should be that number 1 contender for Jacob Fatu. Well, essentially, we got 2 guys, 2 losers at WrestleMania out here arguing with each other. I guess we're going to call them losers. Two competitors that were on the short end of the stick came up just short from grabbing that carrot on the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania.
Let me pull the most recent list up.
Sure. All right, so I'll get to what we got here for Lab Rat real quick. We got Braun Strowman, Shayna Baszler, Dakota Kai, Caden Carter, Katana Chance, Cora Jade, Gigi Dillon, and Eddie Thorpe. The updated list that I've got here, and we might be getting more. Jakara Jackson as well. Add that to the list. Ryan Papadella, broadcast personality. Wrestling for this championship because of you. Really, Hall? You think you're surprised by that many? This is the deal. I don't know. I think through this weekend we're going to get maybe double that. We might get double that by the end of the show. So, guys, we need your belt count for the night, and we need your release count for the end of the show. What's going to be more releases? More releases or belts?
I'm pretty sure it's going to be releases. We're already in the double digits for releases.
Yeah. That SmackDown doesn't have that many belts to showcase.
Yeah, they got a maximum of 8. I'm going to go 8. We've already seen 2. We saw the U.S. and we saw the women's world. The Dippies.
Yeah, one of the women's. The SmackDown women's. I still don't know who the hell, which is which.
Yeah, it's like either the WWE women's title for I think that's Raw, and then SmackDown is the World Women's title. I don't know.
Yes, we can do. Let's look at the sheet, see what other news we got going on. We got a WWE and look. We got a match here. Kicking things off. Also advertised here for tonight. Advertised matches. We got Aleister Black. He's going to be facing off against The Miz. Poor Miz. Going to be doing the biz there, it looks like. Randy Orton will be live on SmackDown en route to Backlash. And all right, that's what they have on the preview. So we're going to get a lot of surprises here, hopefully, tonight then. Ooh, Bronson Reed. That would be a surprise. I think he's high on Triple H's project list. It's kind of, we usually don't get the releases for individuals that are on injury typically, do we?
Not really, no. Because I think Ben said it today on the Friday Locker Room. They try to avoid releasing people who are injured because it's a bad PR look.
Labrat saying, we really hear everyone complaining about how they don't have enough talent. And let's start talking about who they're going to bring in. Do they not have enough talent? I mean, they have a cookie cutter rinse repeat system in NXT to just bring up a younger, in their eyes, a younger, quicker, more athletic version of so many of these talents. You know, outside of all of these releases, though, but the departure that we saw happen last week, that still is a shock to me. We still haven't got a lot of the whys to what's going on. Is, you know, it's going to be clearly absent from the entertainment value of tonight's SmackDown is Chelsea Green. You know, she put out her tweet after losing last week, dropping the Women's U.S. Championship, had that picture of the Capitol in the background with the U.S. flag at half-mast and saying that she would see us after a while, taking a hiatus. You know, the speculation there, a potential injury. Is it just a work? So when she comes back, it pops us that much. Should be having a baby. Does she got some heat backstage? Really going to miss Chelsea Green. She was absolutely one of the highlights of the entire roster.
Yeah, she did it on her own, much like Matt Cardona did.
Well, that's, you know, another speculation was maybe he's going to be coming back. They want to have those two paired up. Not much getting out on that one. Surprised that Otis is what Bruce was saying. You know, a lot of those things, I see those comparisons like, well, how the hell are they cutting this individual, but this person still has a job? We got to remember there's a lot, you know, of technicalities inside of these decisions that we might not understand. You know, pay, length of the contract, what's left on that thing. Hey, and the politics of it. And it's one thing that unless you've been in those systems and worked that development like our pros have, that give you that tremendous insight where they have seen this shit firsthand, it's so difficult for us to fully grasp the BS and the politics that goes on, especially inside the WWE, but let alone the wrestling business itself.
Yeah, I think it was Seth Rollins who said it recently and talked about Dave Meltzer match ratings, and he was brought up how Meltzer has no idea what went into this match or why it went the way it did. He's not back there seeing the politics, the injuries, the situations going on. We got to change this, change that.
Right. And my biggest issue where I don't put any credence, I never have cared about the star rating system, is because we don't know the criteria. It's just how he is feeling that day. And it's a political game itself. Now, if they would come out and say, hey, this is how we're grading this. This is the scale, the parameters that you have to hit. Maybe I would, but it's still just one asshole's opinion. But you know what? It's worked out well for him. It's been a great gimmick. And you have a lot of these younger, supposed to be the future of professional wrestling, that buy into it wholeheartedly, that are going out there just working their ass off trying to pop a nobody so they can get a couple stars under their belt.
Have you heard this rumor that's been going around for a while about how if you get at least a 4-star match, Tony Khan will bonus you $10,000?
I have not heard that. That could not be true.
Yep.
That could not be true. I have not heard that.
I hope that's not true. I really hope that's not true.
I mean, I could see maybe if he was doing something like a match of the night like we see in UFC. But I haven't heard that one, man. I hope that is not true. That would be completely ridiculous.
Right, and how hard would it be for those wrestlers to contact Meltzer? Hey, you give my matches 4 stars. I'll give you $2,000 each time you do it.
Or if you're Tony, just tell Meltzer not to give anyone those, and you get the fucking money. There we go, Mr. 4-star Hall, baby. Got Randy Orton coming up live tonight. still on a hiatus, which I think is good. We need a break from him. How can we miss you unless you go away, Cody Rhodes?
Plus, that dude's earned the time off.
Yeah, he's been putting in that work. He's been busting his ass. Unless that's Cody under that lucha mask there in the front row. So we got Damian Priest, LA Knight here trying to make an argument, get back on the groove there, put themselves in the ball game for a shot at that U.S. championship, and Jacob Fatu. You got to believe, though, at the head of that line, as we saw last week, a showdown between those two, Drew McIntyre.
I think they're going to run with Fatu with the belt for a while.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's the right move.
Like, let him get more over with it, get himself more over with. So when it's time to take it off of him and he turns babyface, he's ready to go to that next level.
He's pretty much there. I mean, they're cheering him. Regularly you work with vet. And what's the best way to become a babyface is to be a great heel.
Yep.
And that's what they've got there. So, and I think what's going to be really telling with that, to really see if he's ready, if he's there, is because over here on SmackDown, really for the foreseeable future, that championship that's going to be under the spotlight is the U.S. Championship, with Cena kind of off and running away with the Undisputed now. I know they dropped the Universal part. So you got the WWE Championship, because obviously your World Heavyweight Championship with Jey Uso is featured prominently over on Raw.
That's not. No, they have a lot of they have investment in him. They have plans for him. So did you hear that we might see Scott Steiner at Backlash? He might be in Pat McAfee's corner.
Scott Steiner in McAfee's corner?
Yep.
With no interaction with his nephew?
Yeah, that's kind of the problem, is because that's like kind of the glaring hole. Like, why not something with that?
Right.
What if after that match there's a confrontation, something happens, and Scott goes up to Braun like, "What are you doing hanging out with Paul Heyman?" This dude's like, and then it leads to a beatdown where Braun and Seth beat down Scott.
I don't know. I think it's, if you're gonna use Scott, I would use it for a positive way to help those guys, to help get those guys over his heels. I mean, Scott, as that endearing veteran legend that everyone loves, he can still go out there. He's good enough to get the heat for you. That's another thing. Why Scott Steiner?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, are those guys boys I'm unaware of?
I would think, that would make way more sense. Like, they had
make a lot more sense with Goldberg. You've got the tie-in where him and Gunther were, talking shit with each other. So there's already a bad taste in each of their mouths towards the other one. And Goldberg is a former NFL player, footballer. So it makes more sense to me to get guys that can tie into Pat's world.
Yeah, and plus the tie-in with wait, I'm tripping. Never mind. Sorry, I thought it was something else. My mind went in a completely different direction.
Although it would be absolute gold for podcasting and ESPN might be worried as hell to give an open microphone to Scott Steiner on their airwaves for the Pat McAfee show, but
I think
he is portion, that would be awesome.
I think he is going on the Pat McAfee show. Let me check.
Oh God, I had to hit the cough button or the choke button. and orange Kool-Aid went down the wrong. Drink the Kool-Aid, baby. Yeah, Steiner would be great on the McAfee show. I mean, I guess it would be interesting. Like if we didn't have Braun up there involved in such a heavy program, yeah, but there would have to be some kind of tie to get those guys together. But as you said, Brandon, it might just be some kind of the McAfee's the lead in. But we never had any indication. Hey, thank you, Gross. Hey, do you guys prefer this style of watch along where we're having conversations about news and chiming in about what's happening? I've watched a few other watch alongs from some other platforms to see what they got going, what could be successes. And a lot of them just sit there. So it's just like dead air,
Yeah, just sit. Yeah, they just watch the show and stare at it.
Right. And then have like an occasional reaction. To me, these things should be like the old watch along pay-per-view parties where you show up at your buddy's house, right?
Yeah.
Bring your drink, bring some hashtag RBV eats out snacks. Let us know what you got going on. If something big happens, we're going to get excited. We're going to talk about it. Like right here, we got a big second rope suplex spot coming up here. Priest fighting it off. Yeah, I prefer that there. You give, especially early on in the show like this, give the illusion of it, that huge spot, that violence, get the people at the edge of their seat and then pull it back. And Priest seems like he is like tired today. And I know he's throwing them long, slow, ineffective forearms.
Yeah, he does seem a little sluggish in there.
But he just hit the big Razor's drop there off that second, only for a 2 count. Black cherry Kool-Aid. I haven't had that. That does sound good. Black cherry.
Woo woo! Thanks, pal. Thank you, Lab Rat.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, that's more fun to me, in my opinion.
Priest wife just got released. Which one is that?
Oh yeah, he's going out with I forgot if it was either Carter or Chance.
Oh, one of those two?
Yep. Yeah, they're doing they're doing like Instagram, TikTok stuff together.
Okay, so we were talking about, that feeling, how's that energy backstage, man? Maybe the one you're on the road with, or at least the one on the off day you got to go back home to. Now, one of you employed, one of you isn't.
Yeah, that could explain why Priest is a little out of it
with
tonight.
Carter. Labrat saying he was with Carter. Now, what is Carter? Is she the one that was with Ricochet as well?
No, that's Samantha Irvin, and she's still with him.
No. Before that.
Oh,
I can't keep track of all these people just humping, man, at the PC. Dude, there's something. I know we keep getting, Chance was Ricochet.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think that's the one when we learned that about Ricochet's fetish with the thumbs in his asses. Dude, he's had like 2 engagements inside WWE, and then was dating one. He was engaged to one, they broke up. Then he was with Chance, and then now he's with Irving. So he's been all over that locker room. But yeah, what do you expect here? You get a bunch of in shape, sexual primed young individuals like this. Of course, man, it's just freaking Orgy Island. Speaking, that'd be a good reality show. Orgy Island. First to come, first to leave. Solo jumping in. Taking it to Priest there. Unloading on him. He's throwing some weak-ass punches today, too. How great would it be if that Lucha guy was actually somebody that got involved later?
That'd be a good swerve. Yeah, it's like a nonstop college party, like a never-ending frat party.
Well, like when they have the Olympics, I think there was something like the sponsor supply for the Olympic Village, where all the athletes are staying out, like 8,000 condoms for the 2 weeks. Yeah, think about it. Like, again, you got all these young, fit, horny ass, good looking people. So, like, when their event's over or they're eliminated, they're just getting it on. They're just partying.
Yeah, who knows what kind of other, substances are involved.
Are we going to get anybody come? I was going to say, are we going to get a run in here? Or anybody going to save Solo? Uh-oh. Oh, look like he's getting saved by anybody. Oh, here we go.
Fatu?
Yep. Oh, sorry. All right, let me know when you see him. What are you seeing now?
I saw Fatu dive through the ropes and hit Priest.
Okay, so I'm just a little bit ahead of you. Look at him, man, bringing the people to their feet, man. They're loving him. He's taking it to the baby faces, and they're loving it. I like the camera shot on that. Go right above the rims. You see and hear the collision, but you don't need to see the headshot.
That's smart of them to do that. Very smart of them to do that.
Yeah, I think at the last Olympics, they really tried cracking down on that. But I know the one before that over China, Japan, or something like that, like they were like out of control over there. They had like a lot of problems. I think they had like someone to get kicked out of the Olympic Village because of their like sexual rendezvous or whatever shenanigans. Hey, if we get the tag match out of them, one positive, the makeshift tag match between these four is better than anything they have going on in the tag division. So,
very true.
Yeah, this blue brand tag division struggling.
Yeah, what if they did a unification of the tag belts? That would actually help out the division.
I would be in favor of that. Here's just the problem. They're just not. It doesn't seem like whatever the regime is, who's leading this thing, I don't know if they're just not interested in the tag or they just don't fully understand how to get it going. But, I mean, you got Fraxio up here, making their debut last week. Hot team from NXT, the former champs there. Let's see if they can get over here on this main roster.
Oh, yeah, they officially got called. I forgot about that.
Thank you guys so much. Right now, standing by with a team that made their successful debut last week. Down, Fraser and Axiom, otherwise known as Fraxium.
You know what they should do? They should have Byron Saxon become their manager, and then they can become Sax Fraxium.
We're excited, Byron. NXT.
That was bad. Trying to do Baker Street.
Oh my God! Here comes Vet's favorite duo.
Yes, boys.
God, I do not get what he loves about that. I cannot stand these fucking dweebs.
Does that mean they're doing their job?
No, it's not like that kind of. It's just like, why? I don't know. I suppose there could be something there. It's not like I don't really know what it is. It's just when they're on screen, I just could care less. I guess sad to say that the blue brand tag might be better than Raw. I guess Raw is pretty much just New Day now. I know you got the War Raiders doing some stuff, but that's another team for whatever reason, man. They're two big guys that fly around. have a good look, but they just don't seem to be over. Never have on that main roster.
Looks like they're wearing some sort of like an abomination of a pride flag on their gear.
Well, I guess we're going to get the match here. And there again, were they back to being heels here? Because that build to WrestleMania, they were being baby faces. Nah, I don't think that's a pride. That's like a retro.
Yeah, like late 70s going into like into the 80s.
Like the club scene, What was that big club? Club 54. 50, I always say the wrong number.
Studio 54.
That's what it is. Studio. I always say it, and Ben makes fun of me about it. Like, dude, what the hell would I fucking know?
They would not have the balls to do that, Gross. They would not have the balls to do that.
It'd be a lot of baby oil.
Deuce, give me 1,000 gallons of baby oil.
NXT, they've got an all right tag division. TNA seems all right, right?
You want to hear something crazy? I think the TNA Knockouts tag team division has gotten better since they now includes NXT women's tag teams.
Okay, I like that.
It's kind of like a weird thing how like they kind of have the women's tag team belts are kind of cross promotion or kind of cross branded. You got the TNA Knockouts tag team titles, which are kind of like the mid card that the TNA Knockouts and the NXT women are fighting over. And then the WWE women's tag team titles, it's the main roster, but then some of the upper NXT tag teams getting involved in that as well.
Lamrod saying just bring back McMahon. No, yeah, Vince. Vince is already living the Diddy gimmick. He might have been the Diddy gimmick before Diddy did it.
He might have showed Diddy how to do it.
Diddy did it.
Damn it, what didn't Diddy do?
I'm surprised that they haven't pulled that from distribution yet. That was actually on Comedy Central. I just watched it like 2 days ago.
We got Cold-Blooded. What's up, pal? Good to see you. Whoop, whoop.
Cold-Blooded in the house. Hey, everybody, share the link on your socials. Let everyone know we're here. Get some people together here on a Friday night. I know here in the Midwest, man, we are, it's like a Diddy party. We are wet and wild. It is storming like a son of a bitch. I'm supposed to be at the track tonight, and obviously no go at the racetrack. I'm here with you guys. Taking my notes for tomorrow. You can join us in the afternoon, Jimmy T and I. Brady, you're welcome to join us as well if you want. We go about 1 o'clock Eastern for the Smack Attack. So we're going to be talking a lot about releases. Other news we're going to be talking on. We can chat it up here. Hey, I know we've got some hard-working SOBs on the HMG. All right, so which one of you losers is going to pay $100 a month to have AI text chats to be a text buddy with Mercedes Moné? Did you see that story?
Oh, dude, are you kidding me?
Yeah, just released this afternoon for $99 a month. The low price of $99 a month. Yes, you can be a text buddy with Mercedes Moné. WrestleMania 29, baby.
Yeah, that's right. Might have been swapping tips, pal.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not a joke. Not a joke.
No,
that is a
real
thing that's going
real.
around. And I think what's funny, the first thing that the internet community picked up on, this is coming from the lady. She wants text buddies. This is from the lady, remember, that at the autograph session that people were paying hundreds of dollars for, had to stand 4 feet away from her.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. I would just love, and just think about being able to hack that, and just if we can link the names. Maybe we don't even want to link the names. We probably don't see them, but just the amount of dick pics that phone's gonna get.
Oh, dude, yeah. I could see some weirdos being like, I could pay $99 for Mercedes Moné to see my dick. Okay.
Or I'm gonna be the one that she falls in love with, you know. Yeah, there we go.
There are weirdos who will do it.
Aubrey will be the one texting. Yes, it'll be. What's her alias?
Don Stevens.
Don Stevens will be the one that's on the keyboard. Oh, we're sitting here laughing about it. It's going to blow up. It's going to make.
Oh, she's going to make money off that.
Hundreds of thousands, if it's not $1 million on that thing.
Yeah, we joke and laugh, but
damn puppet, but I can be her text buddy. Mr. Brantley in the house.
Hey, what's up, Todd? Good to see you. Hey, yo. So, we are currently at 2 belts.
We had this match set up earlier today. A little undercard tag team action. The new kids on the block for Axiom trying to make their name, moving up the ranks on the blue brand.
I better come with at least one underwear pick a month. Damn right, pal. We got Todd with 9. Yeet.
Let me see. I haven't thought. So we already got 2, right?
Yes. Yeah, the U.S. and the women's world.
And we don't count vignette packages, right?
Correct. Yeah, no B-roll footage.
Right. So the Cena stuff won't count. So I'm going to go 4. I'm going to go with 6.
6 eye. Yeet.
I think these guys are going a little high with 9 there. All right, now it will be interesting here to see how the style that Pretty Deadly tries to work, especially with a smaller team here. Are these guys going to use their size, which would be smart here? Right now, they just can't hang with the speed. Better price than the Undertaker cameo. What was that? What was that price?
I think it was like.
Remember when those were a big thing? That thing was like short-lived. When it was like 6 months, those things were huge.
Yeah, and I remember like Undertaker only had like, okay, I'm only doing 25 of these, and that's it.
And then he had some ridiculous price on it, I'm sure. I just can't remember what it is.
Yeah, I want to say it was like 2,500.
Well,
one of them was.
Go ahead.
Oh, and one of them was Brian Alvarez buying one for his grandmother to have an Undertaker wish her happy birthday.
Jesus Christ. She's probably freaked out. Thought it was a real freaking zombie or dead person talking to her. Probably dropped dead.
Yeah, remember that one was like a hi granny.
Yeah, I do.
That's who that was for. That was Brian Alvarez's grandmother.
WWE's outpriced the original. Well, yeah, you're Joe Smo, your average guy. I mean, we're talking about crazy prices. We just saw the release. I guess regular tickets went on sale today for SummerSlam, but those elite packages, $40,000 for that front row, that prime spot there. You got both nights. You got SmackDown. You got Raw. You got NXT. Meet and greets, food, drink. But come on, $40,000 for a single ticket.
What was it both? Is it at least both nights?
Oh, you get both nights. You get SmackDown, you get Raw, you get NXT. You get a hospitality happy hour thing, meet and greet that they had featuring Kevin Nash and others. That's all cool. But $40,000.
You know what? I think that's
Lash will be safe.
Yeah, I think Lash is fine. I'm pretty sure that's why they split up the metaphor the other night and had her and Jakara split up, because they got plans for Lash. That's why she's there and Jakara got released.
I don't know if that was the plan, if they had the foresight there, but they really, because they told what's his name that just won the cup, he can go do his thing with that. They told the other guy, hey, go be a star on Evolve. Lash said, it's her time to do her thing. And then they didn't really have anything for Jakar. And then they all just left and went their own ways.
Yes, I remember being, it's like, wait a minute. Okay, I understand splitting up the faction, but why are you not keeping Lash and Jakar together as a tag team? Now this makes sense.
I think around draft time, you'll probably see Lash come up.
Yeah, I could see her getting the call. Or her and Masha, and she takes a Knockouts title.
Okay, so she's been doing a lot more work there with TNA.
Yeah, like she was part of that 4-way Knockouts tag team title match at Rebellion.
Scotty, big deal on 2 wheels. Scotty Woodford in the house here, saying Joe Coffey gone.
Yeah, all of Gallus is gone. Let the whole group go.
All gone, huh? Ooh, stuffed crust pizza. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, I could never do the stuffed crust.
I mean, I guess you know what? I know I've had it before, but like I wouldn't go out of my way. Like I've never ordered it or anything.
Like I have to have it fresh, right out of the oven, because I got to have it when that cheese is nice, melty, and gooey. Otherwise, it gets like
What's it like? Yeah, it gets
like
all rubbery
hard and
shit,
snaps.
right?
It's like yeah, I can't do that.
What's crazy because MSG's because you're ready to celebrate about a year since moving to Connecticut. You know, from coast to coast. He was out on the West Coast, up in the Seattle area, and spent some time down in Arizona as well. But when he was coming across this country and he swung by Jargo's, Jargo introduced him to stuffed crust pizza, and he never knew it existed. So it wasn't a thing out west.
Ooh, I like that, Todd. I like that. Basically, make Nash Naomi's Diesel.
Does Lash got that in her? I mean, she's kind of her own little diva sort of deal. I mean, she's pretty good in that talking piece, but I could see those two teaming up because I mean, Lash absolutely has the size. Even looking at her at the group she was with, going back to Tuesday, looking when they broke up, it's like holy shit, she's a beast. It's double wide and double tall, a head taller than everybody in that shot.
Yeah, like if you look at the metaphor, who stands out the most? Let's look at a picture of him. Lash.
Right. Yeah, because Naomi talking, she might be seeing the writing on the wall, seeing all this young talent come up. She's making the most of this run, doing her best work. Maybe kind of get that big final hurrah. Because she was talking about, at 37, maybe it's time for her. She wanted to have some kids by this time, but she's been so focused on her job.
Right, and at the same time, hey, Jimmy can do the heavy lifting and bring home the bacon.
Oh, they'll all be okay.
Yeah, they'll be fine. They financially, they have nothing to worry about unless they made some really, really bad decisions or some shit went sideways.
Labra, have you guys tried the cold pizza? Hell yeah, cold pizza. I mean, everyone's had cold pizza. Who the hell hasn't done that? But Ohio pizza, our pizza in Ohio is just tavern pizza. It does vary in different parts of the state how airy the dough is, but it's just a basic tavern pizza. Speaking of Natty, did any of you guys see the promo that she cut for the Crockett Cup? That she's going to NWA to take on the NWA Women's Champion, Mackenzie there.
Did not see that.
Shit. What a promo she cut. It is the Natty Neidhart that we need in WWE. Now, here's the problem. You got people like Cross, like Natty. They're going out with some outside projects, doing stuff on their own, cutting these amazing promos, putting together these amazing video packages. These are absolutely what the hell we need on our WWE programming. I mean, you go check that out. Go check out Natty's Twix account. I'm sure she's got it over there. It's in a black and white the way she's lit. She looks great. Her energy is amazing. Her delivery is spot on. It'll blow you away. You'll be like, why isn't this the talent we know that she has? Why isn't this the persona that we're getting projected on WWE television? It'll blow you away.
Hopefully somebody sees it and goes, okay, we need this on our show. But you hear about this? So Alicia Fox is on her way to TNA. Or actually, she is in TNA. She made her debut last night during the live show.
Alicia Fox?
Yep, she's under a new name, and her manager or legal counsel or whoever is Robert Stone.
Wow, I'm looking this up here. I just want to check it out. I haven't heard that name in a while.
Is that the Pittsburgh style lab rat where you cook the sauce and the crust, but then you put the toppings on cold?
I don't know where that's at. That doesn't even sound that good. Why would you do that?
I heard it's a Pittsburgh thing.
Sounds like something those morons would do. All right, man. The new dogs on the block picking up the win. Braxton with another big win. Wait, so she showed up and she's getting a knockouts title match, huh?
Yep, but I think it's like a deal. Like somehow it was explained that Robert Stone did something to hook that up and make that happen, or he did some backdoor dealings.
So is she just going by her real name, Victoria Crawford?
Yeah, Victoria Crawford.
Okay, so she's just using her real gimmick. I always liked her. Didn't she leave? Was she the one that got Arn Anderson in trouble because she was drunk? I think she. Yeah.
That was her.
Okay. Wait a minute. You crafty lady.
Wait, is that
Yes, she's back. Hold on, I want to hear what she's saying here.
Okay, she's even got a morning veil on. I like that. I like that. None of us are actually American. Or originally from America, I should say. Chelsea. All right, it ended up being a swerve. I like it. And she's demanding a recount. I like it.
All right, that was nice. All right, here we go.
I like.
Damn. Woo. Got this big screen right over my head. And I look away and I flash back up for big old Nia right there. About fucking knocked me on my chair.
No, I dug that. I liked that. So yeah, it looks like Piper Niven is being set up for a women's U.S. title shot.
What did they say at the end? What set that up? I missed it.
What was it? He says he booked Piper in a match with somebody. I didn't catch who, and if Piper wins, then she's next in line for a title shot.
Oh, was it with Vega?
I think so. It might be one of those non-title. You beat the champion, then you get a shot at the title. Tell a friend, pal.
All right, Labrat's still talking about that pizza with the cold toppings.
Right.
Hold on, I'm looking this up. I've never seen that anywhere in Ohio, dude, and I've been all over. It's Pittsburgh. Papa Allen's Pizza Pittsburgh is known for it.
Yeah, I'm looking at another one called Beto's.
Yeah, tasting the cold toppings at Beto's in Pittsburgh. Yeah, all of our pizzas, because I lived up in the Cleveland area. I've regularly been to Toledo. I've been to Dayton, Columbus, all points in between. Obviously, here in Cincinnati now, we've got the It's All Hot, Brother, Tavern style. You know what? Looking at this might not be too bad.
That's exactly what that sounds like, cold-blooded. Except you don't
What?
got to build it. Except you don't build it. Except they build it for you.
Here we go. Let me do something here. This is Beto's. Here, share that, Brandon. That's what we're looking at. That's how they do it. All right, it might be all right. Something different.
All I know is I couldn't eat it. Like, see, I have to have that cheese cooked. Otherwise, if it's not,
I would be down for that. I like it because I like when I get a sub. I'll get the bread toasted, but I don't like anything else. I like everything else. My meat, my toppings, I like that cold.
Yeah, that is cool. I'm with that. Like for a sandwich, yeah.
Well, essentially, this is just an open-faced sandwich. They probably just call it Ohio style because nobody wants to eat or think about Pittsburgh, so they're just trying to leech off of the great name of the greatest state in the greatest country, the OHIO. That's probably what that deal is. Just trying to ride the Buckeye State, baby. Cold pizza. Or cold topping pizza. Reach out to some of my Pittsburgh peeps. Because I know they've got, if you guys have had the Panani Brothers style sandwiches from Pittsburgh, those are badass. And it's pretty much because of the steel workers. They would just take the cold cut meats, it's like a corned beef, pastrami and all that, on the big Texas toast, but then they put the coleslaw and the french fries. It's like the whole meal is just stuck between the bread. And it was so that the workers could just eat everything with one hand and quick and go. They're awesome. They're phenomenal. It's like the trademark signature meal of the city.
Nice. Get me cold pizza Jones, pal. Ooh, Buckeye cupcakes.
That's what we call them, sweet honeys, here in the Buckeye State. 25 years of rivalry. Hey, I was arguing with Paz about this last week on the 10 count, one of our hot topics there. He is not looking forward to this. What do you guys think? Brandon, what do you think, man? I'm all about it.
This might
25 years, man. You know we were going to get this on the farewell tour.
Yeah, this was like a guarantee. One I thought was in the bag for sure. Like, I would say they were the Stone Cold and the Rock of the Ruthless Aggression era.
Yeah, as you said, I mean, longest, each other's great rivals. I mean, this would be like your favorite band going on a farewell tour, and they don't play any of their hits. If they're playing like all their new shit. No one's paying for that. Bruce saying Texas has the best food in the U.S. No. Texas chili sucks. Real chili is right here where I'm sitting. Great state of OHIO in Cincinnati, Ohio. Hashtag Cincy style. Hashtag God's chili. With some conies and some ways, baby.
But I honestly believe this probably be their best match ever. I think it could be.
You going to that, brother, right there in your backyard?
No, I will be doing a watch along right here for HMG YouTube. Whoop whoop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
But we can't all agree the home of Backlash and the home of Brandon has the worst food. St. Louis food sucks.
You ever tried toasted ravioli?
I have. I have.
What'd you think?
I like it. Pretty good. Deep fried ravioli also good.
Yeah, I know you're not a fan of the pizza. You've already said that.
Yeah,
But
you got it's ketchup on a cracker.
But luckily, though, because it's kind of a high cultural, bit of a melting pot, we have, or at least as far as food goes, we have like a lot. We have great New York places. We got some great Chicago style places. So, besides the St. Louis style, we're covered elsewhere.
Yeah, so you guys are like the food court of the Midwest.
I like that. That's a good way of putting it.
All right,
dude, literally, there are so many. I can pull up my DoorDash and come up with like so many different cultural food places just at any time.
Was Naya out injured or anything, or was she just written off because they didn't have anything for her?
Yeah, I think they didn't have anything for her at WrestleMania, so they just, wrote her off after Elimination Chamber and then waited till after everything paid off and then bring her back.
We get a recap. They have been doing a good job of kind of getting all those wheels going in these women's programs, to tying them together a little bit for these segments.
I think I remember that, Todd. Wasn't it that Orton that did that during the match with Cena?
What's that?
I remember this finish, but I want to say it was like when Orton was defending against Cena, and Orton was a heel, and like as soon as the bell rang, or I forgot what the finish, or I don't remember if it was as soon as the bell rang, but I remember the finish was Orton, or I think it was Orton, just slaps the ref to intentionally get himself disqualified.
I think that might have happened, yeah. Jargo brought up a good point when he was doing a guest spot over on I Like It Raw. 25 years, this is probably the first time that we are getting Randy as the babyface.
It is.
And John is the heel.
It is. Which that itself makes this match more interesting.
Oh, there we go. I asked where she was at. Girl saying she was on vacation with The Rock. No, she was just getting refocused here, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tiffy time.
We are still at 2 belts, I think.
Yeah, because we already saw hers.
Yep.
I still don't understand with her attitude what is likable about this character. Why should we be cheering her? I've been saying that since I've joined the Smack Attack back around a Super Bowl. She's still this bitchy Valley girl that in most social circles we absolutely despise. Everybody wants to get her ass kicked.
Yeah, I think Cold Blooded just nailed it, pal.
Yeah, well, I guess that is kind of missing on this roster, titties.
That'd be Ooh, that'd be a ballsy move to make.
Here we go.
I think when he might have been when he came back. I don't remember. Like last time he came back.
Here comes Naomi laying it down. They want change. They want evil. Ooh, big sneeze button there. Shit, might have another one. I don't know. Maybe maybe it's just me, but if I'm coming out to whoop somebody's ass, I don't hit a bunch of music so they know I'm coming up behind them. I actually think the pop would have been bigger once they noticed that she was coming up, where she didn't have any idea she was there.
Yeah, it's like the whole oh, she's behind, and then you build to it, and then the whole turnaround, and then boom.
Oh, Jade wanting maybe a shot here, a little Tiffy time.
Well, I think how much you bet we're getting a 4-way?
Yeah, you want onion or beans on that? Cincinnati 4-way, man. Chili, cheese, spaghetti, and then you get your choice of onion or beans. Or if you go onion and beans, we call it a 5-way. Scotty, the Vikings suck. They're not winning the Super Bowl anytime soon.
Tag team match. Holla, holla, playa.
Is that what we got?
Yep. Later tonight.
Oh, later tonight. Do it now.
Dude, I like where they're doing where doing his characters going. Like she's just kind of snapping on batshit crazy.
Well, I like that they at least made sense of it. She came out and explained why instead of just, "Hey, bitch, I want a title shot again." Like I lost at WrestleMania, but I want a title shot. No, she explained why. That when she was chasing, when she was trying to be the good girl, standing with her friends, trying to chase the big bad evil Nia Jax. It was Tiffy that kept screwing her out of that championship. And now she's realized all that. She's ready to make everybody pay. Another great layer they've added here with Naomi. And she's bringing out that crazy black bitch character. I mean, she's nailing this right now. She is on another level, the best she's ever done.
You know what? Here's what I have her do to kind of get her even more over. Have her do something extremely violent again, but this time we watch it happen and we see how how her reaction, her facials, and see like how nuts and psycho she is while she's doing it.
Yes. Wonder whose idea it was to put the Andre on the chain.
I have no idea, but at least Mello's trying to get it over. God bless.
I like it, man. Everybody remember the t-shirts Andre's got a posse? I would buy one of those. I would buy one of those just because it's freaking Andre the Giant, dude. Just be rocking an Andre the Giant, freaking some bling, baby.
Are you? Is that an Andre the Giant chain? Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. You want to get laid? You want some serious, strange? Then you get yourself an Andre the Giant chain. Yeah, they ripped up the script day of the show, bro. That's what happened last year. Remember, you're going in as the number 1 seed. No one can touch you. Oh, how'd that work out?
That was probably the biggest ass whooping I've ever personally seen in a Super Bowl.
No. I'm talking about when the Vikings, they were going to the last week. They could have been the #1 seed, had to bye, and then they fall all the way. They're going on the road. They get beat. But yes, the Eagles did whoop the shit out of the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So how'd you guys feel about the re-debut there of Black last week? I thought it fell flat as shit. All right, I am going to take just a break for a minute. I know we got the commercial here. I got to throw the wash in the laundry. I'll be right back.
Oh, please, God, that's what's gonna suck the most about SummerSlam. 2 nights of Cardi B. Hey, what's up, Chad? Good to see you, pal. Whoop whoop. I mean, we kind of saw it coming. A lot of these were predicted and said on a lot of HMG and Russo brand shows. So yeah, it wasn't really all that surprising. Braun Strowman was surprising.
All right, laundry changed.
Yeah, at least he's free from AEW. Black was always a better fit for WWE, in my opinion. Oh God, not Sexy Red.
The CIA operative.
Agent Bow Bow. Whoop whoop. If I ever worked for the CIA, I want to be Agent Whoop Whoop.
Ooh, something got me though. You know what? Ooh, sneeze guard tonight, man. I want to do a little early Cinco de Mayo, a little Mexican tonight. I think that salsa and peppers is stuck up there.
It didn't surprise. That one didn't surprise me. It was kind of like maybe a little bit. I thought they were doing something with her.
It looked like they were trying to. I think with Cora Jade, I think that at one point they did have high hopes. I never really got it with her. Didn't see it there. But hey, got a little notice when she came back with them gimmicks. Wasn't enough to get her over, and she couldn't stay healthy. And then, as you said, obviously I heard that there was she caught some heat after the breakup with Mr. Braun. Maybe was also getting her way around that locker room a little bit.
Ooh, I've not heard that. Well, she can do like Indy Hartwell and go to the bottom of the totem pole and try to work her way back up that way and go to TNA.
I don't know. Again, I just don't know with the talents that they are bringing in now. She's just been by far surpassed. Where is there a spot for her? Where did she really fit in? Nothing unique about her. Nothing stands out character or in her ring work.
Yeah, to be fair, like there were a lot of. It was like tough to tell between Cora Jade and like Jasmine Nix.
Well, that's the trick. I mean, that's the plan in their development. They're just creating all these generic molds. So when they need somebody just to slide into a certain position, a character or whatever to fill that need, they have got, they're like cartoon character wardrobes. They got closets full of the same outfit. There are a lot of people talking about that with Nikita. She seems to escape these each and every time. But, also as a reminder out there, we don't know the details of all of the contracts, how much people are making, what makes sense inside of the company.
Yeah, again, we're on the outside watching this and just going off of what little information that we do have.
Well, I did see Nikita just did a spot. Which did she go down and do something with the LFG show or Evolution? One of the, because the meme that I saw was like, how the hell do you go from development to lower development, or like minors to lower minors or something like that?
I think that she did go to Evolve.
Well, and they're sending people there because they see some kind of draw. They know people are following, they're going to tune in. That's why they're doing that with certain individuals. I've heard some good things about LFG. For whatever reason, I just have not checked it out. It's just, I've heard some good things, but the whole concept just wasn't appealing to me, or isn't. Kind of like the gentleman on the screen right here.
There's a dude on NXT. I think they have pegged as a future big time star, and that's Obafemi. Twice.
Obafemi, yeah. Look at that dude, man.
I mean, plus two.
He's got $1 billion written all over him.
And they've also had The Undertaker interact with him twice on camera on NXT.
This is your yard.
Right. Yeah, you're not having The Undertaker put you over unless they're going somewhere with that.
Well, they did that plug last week to put him over because they brought in some of the LFG guys. I guess they're going to have a few of them, maybe just the 3 that we saw on air, be a part of that big 25-man battle royal to determine the number 1 contender to Oba. So you got that little, cross-brand show promotion going on there. Now, I did notice in that graphic, they said that's open to LFG, to Evolve, to TNA, to NXT. Anyone can come get into that thing. You know what? I would like to see that, maybe not as a PLE, but just be a good draw for an episode of NXT. They don't have anything to do with it almost right now. But in that graphic that they showed for the 25-man battle royal, they had 23 talents listed, which, if that's who they're going to hold to with 23 of them in there, then that leaves us with 2 big surprises.
Well, I got a feeling one of them is going to be Hendry.
No, he's already advertised for another match that night, though.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's
in the 6-man with Hank and Tank.
Against Darkseid. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Right. That match is a spectacle. We're not looking, it's not going to be, no one's going to be making that $10,000 bonus Brandon would tell us about for a 4-star match, but. I've never seen this in black. What is so badass about this dude? Even with that great run he had in NXT, that they seem to put it all together perfectly. Was over with that audience. Total disconnect when they brought him up to the main roster. Just completely lost on everybody.
Ooh, I can see Santana or Moose in that match.
If they're going to bring Moose over, I'd like to see that rematch. I love that. That match went down right here in Cincinnati, was Oba and Moose. I'd like to see it again on a bigger level, but I'd like to see Moose maybe get that win.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Like, we gotta see a belt flip at some point. They've been kind of, I think, trying to build to that, making that a big deal. The first time a championship changes brands.
Yeah, on that level too, man. But that's the thing too. Whoever's going to beat him has to look that part, man. And Moose is one of those few individuals that could do that.
Another dude they've kind of built to it, I think they've done a decent job, is Mike Santana.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. I'm trying to find any updates. I hate the fucking sheets anymore. Like they all like try to act like they're professional writers and they just copy a bunch of shit from Wikipedia. Like just give me the fucking news. Just give me a list of who's cut. I don't need to know their backstories and all this shit.
That is a good question. I have not heard anything about Ortiz. I will take a look at that real quick. So, we're at a commercial break. Perfect time.
And so we got some tweets here. Dakota Kai and Shayna Baszler tweet about their releases. Shayna Baszler, no one can offer what I have to offer. Reality. Let the galaxy burn. Obviously, a little shot there at the universe. And I am Dakota Kai. Well, she just did a picture, so I'll click this and see what this picture is. It's the dish soap with 2 times more powerful suds. Lucky Duck, Dawn's first
Oh, Angel Ortiz, I got that wrong.
And stacked like ducks in a row.
All right, she's just got some video games. Somebody walking outside. Oh shit! Here we go again. So nothing from those.
So yeah. According to Ortiz's Wikipedia page, he is still signed with AEW. Oh, you know what? That would make a lot of sense. That would make a lot of international title. What company did TKO just acquire? That could be a belt that goes across TNA, NXT, AAA, maybe even New Japan.
Yeah. Doesn't AEW have an international title?
They do, but it's basically like just another belt.
Right, but I'm sure they wouldn't want to use the same name. Early on, little NBA update. Round, Western Conference action. Golden State leads the series 3-2, looking to close it out tonight against the Houston Rockets, who are the higher seed. Still very, very, very early. 8:53 left in the first quarter. Houston up 5-3 over the Warriors. Any other games scheduled for tonight? Absolute thriller last night. Shout out to Big Ray, his team getting it done. The Knicks, and absolute thriller again. Nail biter getting it done over the Pistons. Tomorrow night, we got Game 7 tied at 3 between the Denver Nuggets and the LA Clippers. That'll be a good one.
Yep, and we are back to answer Chad's question. I personally feel it's been very fair. I mean, look how much feature they've been giving. It was, how do you feel about the NXT TNA collaboration? Do you feel it's been fair both ways? And I think absolutely.
I've been one of these. I don't understand. I've talked about this with about everybody on our platform. What define fair? I don't understand what a lot of fans are expecting out of this. This, to me, that this should be some kind of 50-50 tit-for-tat exchange here or there. That'd be like the UFL bitching that the NFL is getting more attention, it's getting better treatment. Yeah, WWE is up here. TNA is here. I don't understand why all these people think that WWE is going to be like, yeah, we're going to have you guys go over our champs. If you're a TNA, you are striving to get to that level. And they're even going to present that with any of their brands, if it be development or not. But in a business sense, yeah, Joe Henry went out there for WrestleMania. More people in that 3 minutes, 10 seconds, 5 minutes, curtain to curtain, saw the TNA championship. More eyes saw that championship than they have in probably the existence of that company. Now, what the problem is, TNA, they're looking to grow. You see that exposure. Say, hey, look at these talents that are coming over. This Jordan Grace, when she was doing that, she wrestles where? Mickey James, when she had the Knockouts Championship, she's wrestling where? How can I find that? That falls on TNA. You got to get off of that damn crap channel. And I know that's why they exist there, is for that programming for the parent company. But that's on you. Your exposure, you got to get out of a station that only reaches, what, half a 250,000 homes or something like that. That's the problem. That's on that company. Now, behind the scenes, here's what I have seen improve from TNA since the partnership with WWE. The buildings look like they have a lot more asses in the seats. The production's a lot more crisp. The product is better overall. The wrestling and all that. You're getting pops because of the crossover with the stars for those that are watching. So, yeah, I think it's been an amazing success for TNA wrestling. I just don't get where all these fans think that it should be some perfectly level playing field when obviously, and don't anyone try to tell me they're on equal footing as companies. WWE is 10 notches higher than everyone else in this profession.
Yeah, dude, TNA would be crazy not to enter into this partnership if they were the ones approached to do this.
Right.
Yeah, and like the Joe Hendry exposure was like that got them so much. Like that show this past Sunday was sold out.
I do like what Chad Schaefer's asking us there was to hurt AEW. I think there is, in a sense, like WWE doesn't see AEW as an actual competition, but yeah, they are in the rearview mirror. They are checking it, and that is something they are aware. The forbidden door out there, how AEW was trying to get all these different things to work. But I think now WWE, and rightfully so, is seeing, okay, we saw how AEW did it. We've got a blueprint. We've got an idea. Now let's go do it better. What they usually
pretty much
do. And I think what we're also going to see, I was saying it when it happened. Miz almost stealing there, but we knew we're not going to get. Now he's just eating a roundhouse. That's going to do it. Eyes in the rolled back of the head of the Miz there. That's got to be the 3. Yep. But when AEW had that huge success for their stadium show over at Wembley, that was WWE was just kicking back, using that as market research. If AEW could have that kind of success, just imagine what a WrestleMania could do there.
Absolutely.
One of the best marketing things that I had ever seen, it came from the world of fast food, and it was Wendy's restaurant. It's when Dave Thomas was alive. And you know how these restaurants, they spend hundreds of thousands in market research and location. So instead of investing all that to figure out where are the hot spots that open these Wendy's, what markets they should go into, look for franchising, Dave's whole philosophy with the Wendy's was, wherever they're opening a McDonald's, buy a property next to it. We're going to open one there. We're going to get their overflow. That's how they figured out where to put Wendy's in the early part of the company.
That's absolutely brilliant. I can say this as a person. If I pull up, if I went McDonald's and I pull up and it's crowded and I know it's going to be a long time.
You're looking for the next place that's close, right? That's closest kind of style, burgers and all that. That was their philosophy. Instead of investing in all this that McDonald's had been doing, figuring out where they should place their franchises, what cities, what markets were going to work. It was, hey, wherever McDonald's is going, find a vacant lot next to it, and we're going to put a Wendy's there.
Yeah, that's understanding your market.
Right. So let the others that are in your area of business, let them go do some stuff like that. And for WWE, using AEW to see what they're doing and then go put your touch on it, you got better resources, especially now with TKO and WME, with that powers behind them. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Used to love the Super Salad Bar, man. Love that from my childhood. They had a taco fixins bar with the salad bar. Yeah.
Man, I'm feeling my
I don't, in these parts here, you guys can talk about your parts of the world, these great United States that we're in. But man, I really miss the salad bars.
I do too.
Just disappeared after the shutdown, man. And I really can't think of any of them that haven't. Our big grocery chain here, Kroger, and I know they're spreading throughout the states here. Man, they used to have an awesome salad bar, man. I loved it, but those are all gone now thanks to the old shutdown.
There, at least in my, I should say, like metropolitan area at large, there have been some like mom and pop or small chain pizza places who have managed to somehow maintain a like a lunch buffet, which is always cool.
See, we lost all of our buffets pretty much around here. Oh yeah, I swear, man. That's what I do, man. You go there and get one of those big old clear plastic trays, man. You could pull it like at least 2 or 3 pounds worth of stuff in there. And yeah, it was like $5. The Heb. We finally got a Publix. Any of you guys have a Publix in your areas? Hartnett and Ben were making fun of me because we don't have a Publix here, and I didn't know about the pub subs. They do like their fresh deli. They supposedly have like the best subs in the country, and they got a chicken tender sub that is to die for. We are finally getting Publix here in the Cincinnati tri-state, so I can't wait to go try those out.
Nice. There is one thing in St. Louis that I think you might like. We have this local roast beef chain called Lion's Choice.
Ooh, local roast beef, huh? Is it down at the strip club?
What's that?
Is it down at the strip club?
I go east side. No, but seriously, though, it's actually like delicious roast beef. Like they cook it like the medium rare. They have a special seasoning with it. They have their own barbecue sauce.
Oh, the barbecue. See, I do like a roast beef sandwich. I like just the classic beef and cheddar. Some nice sliced cheddar on there. And I do usually do a mustard on mine. Some thick cut onion with some mustard. Some traditional, old school, just classic yellow.
Nice.
Super salads.
And they recently introduced this. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just reading what they were saying.
And they also recently came out with this one sandwich, which is like on a Texas toast, and it's their roast beef, ham, and turkey.
Okay. Not a big turkey guy, but I do that though. I would mow on that thing. Someone asking in here. Oh, there you go. Hey, Brandon Sack, he's going to be right here with you guys, man, with the live watch along.
Broadcast doing the live watch along, pal. Whoop whoop.
When is Backlash? How many weeks out are we on that?
A week from tomorrow.
So that's the 11th, right? Is it on Saturday or Sunday?
Yeah, Saturday.
All right, so it'll be on the 10th. I'll do my best to be here for that. I got my little nephew Noah.
Nice.
It is his 8th birthday, so we're going to be partying hard all day. I actually ordered him a couple of the they're called WWE splat heads. So it's the little figures of WWE guys. They got these little bodies, but their heads are like that gel. So you can like smash them and all that. They're like the Stretch Armstrong kind of things. So I got him a Cody Rhodes one and then a Logan Paul one. So those would be the two he can have fight it out. He's a big Prime drinker, so I got him the Logan one.
So how about that story that Logan Paul asked Stone Cold, like, "Hey, I'll give you $1 million if you come out in the Prime, dressed in the Prime bottle suit."
Stone Cold said, "Hell no."
Yep, and Logan Paul got free advertisement just off of that story, getting passed around and going viral.
Yep. There's a Shaver saying Collision was supposed to be in Wichita this month. I think on the 5th it got canceled. Heard there was no explanation. I think they did that to a number of shows where they just withdrew, partly because of arena size and extremely poor ticket sales, or maybe they relocated. But it wouldn't have been on the 5th because that's a Monday. Unless you're talking about going back to last month in April, but because the 5th is just this upcoming Monday, Cinco de Mayo. We're talking about them salad bars. What kind of Mexican you guys going to be grubbing on Monday for the holiday?
I'll probably be loading up on Jack in the Box tacos.
Jacking those tacos. All right, when you actually go out, or so there, we talked about this. So you actually have both. You have Tex-Mex and authentic Mexican in your area.
Yeah, we got like a few like changed, then like some like mom and pop hole in the wall places that are like real authentic. It's just like where you go and search for. Like there's a lot of different like pockets of places like that.
Very nice. I had Mexican tonight, but I just went very classic. Right there, I was so hungry when I got there. I just started like destroying the sauce and chips that they give you. So by the time I even ordered, I was like filled up. So I just did a couple beef hard shell tacos, 2 enchiladas a la carte. Didn't do any of the rice and beans, and I always get extra cheese. AEW events. Well, on their main page, they're still selling tickets for last week's show. Stupid sons of bitches. We got Double or Nothing coming up in May 25th, couple weeks.
I think we were talking before. That's a smart idea for AEW to go after WWE's high ticket prices, being hey, we're cheap, but we're not going to gouge you.
Right. Yeah. And get out there and put them together. The cheaper packages, match what you can out of what they've got going on. All right. So Collision tomorrow is in New Jersey, Boardwalk Hall, Atlantic City, New Jersey. Tickets are available. That's the 3rd. Show me future dates, you sons of bitches. I'll get to the bottom of this.
And this is kind of a bit of a point of contention that's come up a bit too. Like if we have a sports player from a team holding like a custom belt given to them, does that count? I want to say no.
No, because it's not an official championship. I wouldn't count that.
That's kind of what I was thinking too.
All right, so I'll look on the 8th here. So it would have been May 8th, which would have been a Dynamite Collision taping. May 8th, 2025. Because they do those quite often. Yeah, here we go. All right, Piper looking pissed off here. He wants to get that revenge.
Or it looks like they're kind of repackaging the three of them as like a trios faction instead of Chelsea being the leader.
All right, so I got a May 7th. That would be the Wednesday. That's Dynamite in Detroit. These are all Dynamites. They might have just canceled that and they're doing a double taping because they don't have anything listed for a Collision this week.
No, we're not going to count that. We're not counting that belt.
No, because this has an AEW and Collision.
So we are still so that makes us at 3 right now.
Yeah, so anyway, they probably canceled that show because they just were sucking on their ticket sales.
Yeah, let's just tape it after Dynamite.
Oh, you know what? I think they are taping because this past weekend, because they're running into conflicting scheduling issues with their networks running NBA games and NHL. So they've been airing their programming after those games conclude. So you can't run those things live on it. So they're taping those earlier in the week and then just hitting that play button as soon as the game's end. Because they've actually seen, and you and I were talking about it, giving them some praise on that, and they're theming those, around the basketball, around the hockey, and they're getting it seems like they're getting a lot of people, that hangover audience, checking them out a little bit.
Yeah, it's boosted Collision's ratings. That has definitely been for sure. Like, can't argue with the results. Oh, but why is little Zelina getting so much on big old Piper?
Right? This is.
She like it should be. It starts off Zelina getting over on her on speed. She gets a few spots in, outmaneuvers her, gets around her, but then she gets caught. Go to heat.
Yeah, and then if you're trying to save face there with Selena, then you have the heels misfire on a cheating thing that that allows her to get a big roll up win, and she gets the hell out of there. May 17th for which and it's no longer. Let's see. Yeah, I'm looking at some dates here in May, and they don't have that May 17th on there. They got a May 14th for Dynamite, and then the next one they're showing is another Dynamite New Mexico. So they're probably doubling down on those.
Are you saying we see Cardona come back? Is that what you're saying, Ladrat?
There was some speculation, not necessarily that they were going to take her off of television and then bring her back with him.
Yeah, it seems like the only thing they really did was kind of reshuffle the three of them where they're more like kind of
equal.
No.
They're talking about for Zelina. That Black came back, so it was something for her.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry, I was thinking of the wrong chick. My bad.
Or are you talking about because Black and Zelina let WWE use their pool all those years ago when Chelsea and Cardona said no?
I could, you know what? Seeing who the belt went to, yeah, I could definitely see that being as a fuck you.
You know what? Now that we're seeing what they're doing, we've got where Chelsea's in mourning over this thing. They're demanding instead of the rematch, the recount. Maybe this is. She's saying, "Hey, let's go in this direction for a little bit, till she can get this thing, but win it back. It adds some interest. It takes it in a different direction. She can work a different gimmick, get this thing over. She's masterful in whatever they give her."
Yeah, I did not think that they would have anything in between to kind of keep Chelsea hot, or at least keep the heat and fire going with her.
Yeah, this is kind of that void part of the year where they're looking for something. Maybe this is it. They got us. This is good. They got us pulled right back in. People were disappointed, wondering what's going on. Boom. Now we're hooked again. Ooh, it's Harry Potter world. Dude, I was there a little over a year ago. We went down for my older nephew, Levi, for his 10th birthday. Took him and Noah down there. Harry Potter world. If you think going to a wrestling event is like the ground zero, the mecca for all things nerd freaking geeks, that's Harry Potter world. Grown adults all just walking around with their little wands and robes and like 102-degree freaking heat. The greatest collection of freaking dorks I've ever seen in my life.
Lab Rat, I like where you're going with this. PMS 2.0 with Matt Cardona as meat.
Well, and Ben and I have talked about this quite a bit over on the Monday Locker Room. His background in theater and understanding the characters. He'll lay it out there where once she gets that belt back, Cardona would be to play that perfect role as the first lady. And we were just talking last week. We were trying to come up with pun names where you could just play off different presidents' names, because we were calling him Abs or Ham Lincoln, because that's his whole thing could be about fitness. Yeah, you know how all the first ladies take on some stupid side project. Nancy Reagan and Dare,
George Wash Boardington.
Yep, there we go. See, but like Michelle Obama ruined school lunches and all that. So his thing could be about that, getting the.
It's all about protein. We're cutting the carbs out of school lunches. It's all keto. You're going all meat.
Well, that's for the Sweat Hog fans, just start using all of that. He would be the perfect role for that first lady for her.
Yeah, like flip the gender role script. Absolutely, that'd be hilarious. And those four could pull that off, or I should say, 3 out of 4 could pull it off and carry the fourth where the fourth is lacking. And
I think they're all good. Even Fire's finding her way in here because I mean, it's what's scary with her is they dump her partner and just throw her into this thing.
And so far, she's swimming.
She's doing well with it. I was glad that they went with the wardrobe changes for the Secret Service. I like the name with that, a little twist on the service.
And I like they're not immediately going to tension between Piper and Alba. They're like they immediately click and start working together.
Right. Although I am again with you here. Way too much evened out offense here throughout this match.
Yeah, it should be
Zelina. This thing is running way too long.
Yeah, it should be Zelina fighting from underneath, getting lucky, using her speed to avoid stuff. That's how she makes her comebacks. She gets a few shots in, gets cut off, or if it looks like she's about to start coming back, that's when you have one of the two distract the ref or do something or get involved.
Scotty on the way out. Hey, thanks for joining us, bud. Get some rest, man.
Always a pleasure, Scott. Whoop, whoop.
Your Timberwolves rolling, no pun intended, into the next round, man. Taking care of them Lakers. Whoop their ass.
And what is up, Gam? Good to see you. Whoop, whoop. Yeet.
What's interesting, Chad asking about those non-compete clauses. Those people that were released earlier in the year, they should be coming up on their 90 days here in the next couple of weeks.
Yes, I've heard talks about their potentially Cedric Alexander coming to AEW to be part of the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah, that's going to be right around the time for Double or Nothing. So they're wondering maybe if he can make an appearance there, especially for Bob saying hurt somebody. Maybe that's MJF goes after him. Maybe he shows up and he becomes that next member. I don't know if I'm not really feeling that whole program there with MJF and the Hurt Syndicate. I don't think it's really doing anything for anyone. I'd rather see those guys focusing in the tag division right now and just doing what they do, just hurt people. Some badass dudes doing what they do, hurting people.
We hurt people.
But yeah, a lot of speculation if he'll show up. Cedric will show up.
Yeah, that's a good point, Jim.
Talking about it. I didn't hear anything about it being removed and no one's showing up anywhere. Oh, something back during the pandemic.
Yeah, I just remember like when they like when Samoa Joe was released, he immediately showed up in AEW.
Well, I think there are some different circumstances with that. So like Sonya Deville, like hers wasn't like a release; it just wasn't a renewal. So I think hers didn't exist.
Yeah, that was a contract expiration.
Yeah, so I mean, there's different things. Again, we don't know the ins and outs of every contract. Joe might have been smart enough to write that in there. To have some kind of clause if he was released at a certain time, or maybe it wasn't a renewal. They just said, "Hey, we're not going to renew you. Expire. Just go ahead and do your thing." But that is kind of funny. What was it? They'd be like, "You know what? We're going to waive this during the pandemic because like you couldn't go anywhere else." I know they probably weren't expecting AEW to be able to do what they did. Credit to them, brand new company, looking to take the world by storm, and boom. You can't tour right now. Luckily, they had the fallback on where Tony's got his own stadium to run shows from.
Yeah, but hey, let's do a bunch of empty arena hardcore matches too.
Dom turning babyface. He's getting a lot of love from the crowd.
I could see that happening but you'd have to build to it right. You'd have to have like the entire Judgment Day stab him in the back, and the only people he has left are Liv and Raquel.
For him to become like a true blue, I think that just kills him. He's dead in the water at that point. I think you got to stick to the course with that character, who he is, and in a backsided way, just let the crowd start cheering. With him, you just want them making a lot of noise. So, you always hate that when they come out and they start trying to cut that babyface promo, pandering to that audience. I think he still needs to be Dirty Dom, and you just hope that they're still making a lot of noise for him.
Wow. They just had Zelina pin Piper. Granted, at least it was off of a botched interference. I'll say that much.
Right, yeah. So you have a backfire. That's how that has to happen. That should have happened probably 10 minutes ago.
Right. That's the only problem. It took way too long to get there. Like, if this match would have been, like you said, 10 minutes shorter, no problems.
Yeah, it should have been a lot shorter and then just a huge misfire. At least we did get a misfire. It wasn't a clean win. Indianapolis for some White Castles. Indianapolis, the home of my boy, Michael Jargo.
Right now, the best deal for one person is currently they have something what's called the Craver Saver meals, which is like $6. You choose between either 2 cheese sliders or 2 chicken ring sliders. Then you get small fries, small drink.
Fuck that. That motherfucker gonna eat more than that.
And 3 chicken rings.
Dude, fuck the deal. Here's what you get. All right. Get yourself about 5 sliders with your choice. Do original. Get regular cheese, or if you like hot cheese, get the pepper jack. But get yourself 5 sliders. Get yourself a small onion chip. Get yourself a small cheese stick and a small chicken ring. The taste of the castle, baby. Taste of the castle. Blow out your asshole. That is your pick there for your White Castle Eats.
Yeah, and do yourself a favor. Get the app. If you don't have the app, I think like for the first time order, you'll get like a deal on whatever.
Oh yeah. It was like $5 off or something like that for your first time order.
Yep, $5 off.
I just ate there the other day. I had that big sticker right there in the window. Yeah, Gabe. Get yourself 5 sliders, cheese however you like. Get yourself a small onion chip, small cheese stick, small chicken ring.
Oh, they do have a deal.
Get some zesty sauce for that dipping.
They do have a deal going on right now. 12 chicken rings, $3.99.
Yeah, that's a lot of chicken rings. They'll fill you up. You want to get all those other flavors too.
True, yeah, that's more of like its own meal in itself.
And surprisingly, one of the best fast food breakfasts is White Castle. And breakfast sliders are delicious. And then there's little or tater tots or whatever. The
hash browns.
The chip, but they're chips, right? Is that how you would describe them? Hash rounds is what they call them.
Yeah, hash brown bites.
Yeah, they're phenomenal.
Oh, love them. Those hash browns are so good. Like if I go there during lunch, I'm not getting a meal. I'm not getting like a full meal. I'm just getting a few burgers and some fries. Instead of the fries, I'll get the hash browns. Because because during lunchtime, they're cooking them fresh.
If you'd also go 4 current day sliders and then get yourself a 1921 slider. It's a kind of a replica of what the actual White Castles were. So it's a little thicker patty, not the square ones that have the little holes for quick cooking that are just freaking buried in those delicious caramelized onions. But this one is a little rounder in it, but it is still like the original smash burger because that's how they came up with those. But it has like lettuce, tomato, onion on it on the little bun.
Yep. Remember when those used to cost a nickel back in the day? Oh wait, neither of us were born back then.
Oh yeah, back in the day. I do. My parents they do tell me back when they started going to White Castle, they were a dime. So
yeah, I think my grandparents told me that how it was 15 cents.
They celebrated Well, obviously, it was over. I'm trying to think what they were celebrating. I think it was 75 years because they've been around over 100 years. First fast food restaurant out in right where WWE's at right now. Birthplace in Iowa is where they're created. The first White Castle was in Wichita. But now a home base right here in the great state of the OHIO up in Columbus, Ohio, the White Castle headquarters. But yeah, credit as the first fast food. And it really, they had the burgers. And they weren't flipping their booths, which means your turnover at your tables, getting people in and out. People were complaining about it. So instead of the slow cooked burgers, they started squashing those things down, made them smaller in size so they could crank them out real quick and get people in and out moving. So fast food in the White Castle was born.
Did you ever try their fried pickles when they had them?
They have not had those, which is crazy because I said I'm in the headquarter market. Have not had them here, or at least that I had seen. But I do love. It is my go-to when they do have them. Freaking love them. Is their sloppy Joe sliders.
That's actually usually when they
had the pickles.
Yep.
Damn, they don't have those here. Wolfers, if you got to get the breakfast, the traditional breakfast, it's a sausage and egg, scrambled egg slider with cheese. They're awesome. And they got different buns you can get as well. You can do the traditional slider bun. Then they've got there's a French waffle one, right? And then like a French toast bun. And they're all really, really good. Yeah. Hey, they're still not that bad. What's a slider? Like $1.29 there or something like that?
I think like a regular single slider with no cheese, at least where I'm at, it's like $1.
Maybe I'm gonna see if I can get it pulled up.
Man, I remember when I first went to White Castle, it was like 25 cents a slider.
I don't even remember how much they were when I was young. Been eating them for 40 years.
I remember when a Crave case was $12.
You got your phone handy by you?
Yes, I do.
Just for reference, go to your DoorDash and look up a price for one. My phone's on the other side of the room.
I get my White Castle app out and look at that.
Yeah, they're good, man. And make sure you get the hash rounds. It's like their breakfast potato, man. They are greasy godliness goodness, man.
Oh yeah, have you ever been to Whataburger?
I have. I've never had a breakfast. I've just been to a Whataburger and passing on travels. So I just grabbed a burger and all that.
Yeah, unfortunately, the times I was in Texas, I never had a chance to experience their breakfast. It's always lunchtime. But that spicy ketchup, though, pal. Oh.
Wendy's has a pretty good. You know, like I talked about KFC with their chicken wings. I like their hot wings. They got the breaded ones, but it's hard to find them. They're not in very many locations.
Yep. Ordering on the app, one normal slider, no cheese, $1.
There you go.
Speaking of KFC, do you remember the original Chicken Littles that were like on those the little square patties that was like mayonnaise on a bun?
Here's a little KFC hack, man. I don't know why they don't do this with all their sandwiches, but I love the original chicken slide or the Littles. But even like their, with the chicken sandwich wars and all that, there's a hack you can get at KFC. Don't get the mayo on there. Get their gravy on it. Fucking next level phenomenal.
Yeah,
it does feel crazy. Like WrestleMania just happened.
I know. It's so crazy.
Well, I mean, hell, it was only 2 weeks ago.
Man, I was never a fan of the mayo. I couldn't do the mayo on chicken, but you put some spicy sauce on there. Yeah.
I could go with that. Yeah, I usually when I get a chicken sandwich, I see there's mayo on it. I usually opt out of it.
Do you remember when Burger King used to have the Tender Crisp and they had the spicy one?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Dude. This was the best chicken sandwich I ever had. It's because I worked there when they had it. So before I would leave, I'd cook a fresh one. Like I'd put a fresh chicken patty in, fry it. Yeah. And then while I was frying, I'd have the bun. I'd put the spicy sauce on the top bun, put on the bottom bun, toasted bun.
Ooh, nice. Yep. All right, You're probably just getting to it. A very awesome moment for that young fan. He's going to remember that the rest of his life.
Oh,
it's
dude,
something uneasy to see about Randy Orton to hug a fan.
Well,
But good for that little dude, man. He's going to remember that. What a moment.
Definitely. And they've built the story of, they've admitted, like, yeah, Randy Orton was a douchebag. He was, a much different person than he was, and he's matured and become a man.
Yeah, he's eaten like 3 people since then. He's like 3 of the people that he was. Hey, Randy Orton's always been over. You go to house shows and all that, man, fans, especially kids, love him.
Yeah, he's reached legend status where it's like you can't really boo him because you respect him to that much.
It was about 2 weeks ago. I had a Whopper. I hadn't had one in a while. I was actually talking to Jargo, and he was ordering one. And it had been stuck in my head for a couple of days, and I went going, God damn, it hit the spot.
But here was what made like that spicy tender crisp like especially delicious for me, was because I got it fresh out of the fryer, so that when I put it on the bun that was already pre-sauced, it melted right into it.
Like you weren't burning your mouth.
Well, I didn't eat it right away. I mean, I let it cool down.
Kenny Rogers Roasters, man. I never could get it. Like, if I'm going to go get chicken, I want that shit deep fried, man. Although I do like that episode of Seinfeld.
So have you heard of this one chicken place called El Polo Loco?
El Polo Loco. Yes, sir.
So while that one time I wrestled in Mexico, the cartel took us there for dinner on our final night there before they took us back across the border. Wow, that chicken was amazing.
Were you wrestling for Cartel Pro Wrestling?
No, I think it was called man,
Are you even allowed to tell us the name, or will you disappear?
No, I think it's called Arena El Angel or something like that. Yeah,
Arena
it was like
El Angel.
Yeah, it was literally just a indie promotion in Reynosa, but they happened to be, owned and backed by a cartel, who took great care of us, by the way.
Let's see, our lab rat talking about when he was in Germany, the KFC had a spicy extra crispy chicken. Huh, I don't think we've ever had that here in the States.
Oh,
I'll let you go ahead. Go ahead.
I can easily answer that real quick, because I remember going like, what the fuck? I was there for this. It was Drake Younger's final match at IWA Mid-South before he went to WWE as to go be a referee. Or Drake Wirtz, I should say.
Right.
It was like 2014. And during this show, this is right around the time when Jeff Jarrett had just launched Global Force Wrestling, and he was going around to different indies, kind of scouting and recruiting talent. And this is actually the show where he saw Congo Kong, and that led to him going to the Global Force and then TNA. This was the show. I remember during Drake Younger's retirement speech. He had Ian Rotten in the ring with him, and they were, he was talking about how much this place meant to him.
That dude is.
Dude, don't even get me started.
Well, go ahead. Sorry. We won't get sidetracked.
Yeah.
Shit he is.
Oh, trust me. Karen Jarrett later on in the story lets us know what a piece of shit she is. What a piece of shit he is. Oh, did I spoil it? My bad.
Yeah.
So, as this is going on, I wrestled on the show during the pre-show. But as Drake's, doing his thing, I'm standing out in the crowd, in the back, so everybody's focused on him. I can stand in the back of the crowd. Nobody's really, noticing me. And he's doing his retirement promo, putting over Ian for all the opportunities he gave him and their relationship. And then all of a sudden, I hear somebody start screaming, "Where's my fucking money? I want my fucking money!" A woman's voice, and it's coming from the direction of the merch table. I'm thinking, okay, there's probably some dispute going over there. Okay, not my problem. But as the promo keeps going, Karen Jarrett storms from the back, out the entranceway, grabs the microphone, starts shooting on what a piece of shit Ian is, on how she ripped off her and Jeff Jarrett. She didn't get her money, or they didn't get their money, and then so starts
right there in front of the whole live crowd.
Yes,
Holy
and I'm sitting there going like, what the fuck?
Holy shit, dude. Karen going nuts. I've been lucky enough. I've been like seeing too many crazy shit working shows, but going way back to the late '90s, I was at a Northern Wrestling Federation indie show, one of the first indies that I started attending, and in the ring, Prince Justice, who would go on to become Abyss. Back then, he just wore we just can't blueberry because he'd wear a big old, just entirely body covered blue leotard. So him and his crew are beating the shit. They're taking it's like 4-on-1 at a Wildcat Chris Harris, and so we're in a crowd. Everyone's booing and having a good time. Yeah, I'm in high school, so it's me. I remember our quarterback was there, the other wide receiver, and a couple of linemen. And this fucking steel chair goes flying over the top rope like a dart. It fucking hits Abyss right in the fucking side of the temple. So at this point, he is fired up. And all the wrestlers stop what they're doing. Now they've turned this attention because shit's getting real. Like, who's the asshole that darted this chair in here? Well, this hillbilly with no teeth comes running behind us because we're bigger guys. I mean, we're still at high school, but we're the football team. And it's this old toothless hillbilly. I just remember him sitting there like, "Hey, motherfuckers cheating! They fucking cheating in the ring, man! They just hit Wildcat. I gotta help them out. You guys gotta protect me." So, we all just start fucking dying laughing, man. It was
holy shit!
I can imagine just picture this ratty-haired, toothless, almost like crawling out of the Ohio River, son of a bitch, man. They attacking, they hurting Chris, they hurting the Wildcat. We gotta help you. You gotta protect me.
Get me Kentucky man, pal. That's amazing.
What's Randy talking about here? Yeah, I guess the shows that I've worked have been pretty tame. Luckily, that I haven't seen anything too crazy.
Ooh, have I ever told you the story about the time when the show that we worked on, a guy that we were traveling with was about to set the promoter's ring on fire because he was shorting one of the guys that we were with on the pay.
What? Holy shit.
Yeah, this was during the Mexico trip.
Hey, man, you gotta watch out with that Mexican wrestling, man.
Most insane weekend of my life. But this was in Texas, though. Actually, I'll tell a story after the commercial break.
I don't think he's really saying anything here. He's just putting over their history. But I'm just thinking here, we keep your eyes on that luchador in the front row. He's got a spinner belt that's going right now.
If that's Cena, that will be brilliant.
I just noticed that he's got the spinner belt out right now.
Yeah, and how funny would that be? Cena comes out, hits him with the attitude adjustment, and then goes, "That's one more appearance down. Later."
Yeah, hit the countdown and. I mean, because what you could have done is just had a regular person sitting there. Because that guy is kind of built. He's got some pretty big forearms on him.
Yeah, that dude is pretty big.
I know, but then, like, right before this, do the old switcheroo, Have him go to the bathroom, have Cena come back and sit down so that people don't maybe recognize the entire time that it was him.
That's smart. That's smart. I like that.
But with these limited appearances, those are things, as Ben would say, he'd be screaming at you if you didn't advertise that he's going to be there. Hold on, we got a pop. What do we got here? That crowd's making a lot of noise. Oh, because he's doing the RKO. Nope. Damn, that would have been great, though, wouldn't it?
Oh, Juan Cena. Oh, dude, I remember that. Remember when they had the thing where he had that match with Wade Barrett, where if Wade Barrett won, he got fired. But he still had to work house shows. So it's like, oh, here's his Mexican cousin Juan Cena under a mask.
There was a guy on Russo's brand that would pop in and take a nice disco in front of that dude. Was a trip. Everybody does that, don't they? Gets under the skin of disco. I hope to God that is true.
That is true. They already had a date. It's going to be in June. in
But they
June
keep
and we're in
saying
May.
that.
So
They
thank
keep
you.
saying that. Oh, I forgot we still got this damn match going.
Oh yeah, tag team match, playa.
So as long as you figure out whatever you have to do with Jade and stay out of my way, you'll be good.
Who would just put their one shoe up there like that?
Sure.
That's kind of weird.
I don't know why it just popped out to me, but I wish it was socially acceptable to wear a mask in public. Oh, what do we got? Ray Phoenix here? Have we been getting any? Is this something I just have not retained? Or have we been getting any follow up with him in Americano? Or was that just like, okay, that didn't happen?
I think there's more. Yeah, there's more like a one-off. Like, oh shit, we need somebody to fill in for Rey Mysterio because he's hurt.
Yeah, but they told that interesting story there, about kicking him in the head, or he was getting kicked in the head and hit that steel plate. That he eats a headbutt with that. I mean, you think you'd follow up with something like that? So we're just supposed to pretend that didn't happen and go back to, oh, we love Ray Phoenix.
I think that might have been more of a setup to kind of go for Americano, El Grande Americano versus Vikingo.
Yeah. We got that. That's coming up in June as well, right? The Worlds Collide.
Yep, Worlds Collide. That match hasn't been set yet, but I could see that happening. Like, that would be a great interpromotional match.
What is? Oh, this is just a commercial for Evolve, right?
Yeah, have you seen those guys on the only two guys I've seen on there is that tag team called Swipe Right.
Yeah, the blonde guy is just a poor man's version of Carson Drake from the NWA. There's just so much damn wrestling. I'm sorry, I can't go watch AA baseball. I don't have enough time to go find Tubi to go watch empty arena training class.
Pretty much. Now, I do not remember that thing with Scorpio Sky.
I vaguely remember it. Taco Bell, we do not need chicken nuggets from you.
I don't know, man. Have you tried them?
If I go to Taco Bell, I'm not getting chicken nuggets. I'm going to get, guess what? Taco. Did we just talk about this on Wednesday? Our Taco Bell orders.
Yeah, but the breading is crushed tortilla chips.
I would give them a try. Let's say, like, I go to the DoorDash app and I go to deals and it tells me if I spend $20, I get a free one of those. I'm going to spend $20 on some other shit to get one.
I feel like leftovers is a good deal.
Winners of the Owen Cup. We did talk about this during the Dynamite watch along, and I think, Brandon, I think you and I on the same page. What we talked about, but we seem to be different than everybody else out in the internet wrestling community. We both kind of agreed Hangman, right? And then had the big payoff with him in Texas. But it seems that everybody else is leaning towards Ospreay.
Yeah, they've really lowered Ospreay's stock. Like, to me, I look at Hangman as more of a top guy than Ospreay at this moment in time.
Ospreay is over with that audience. That Hangman character. And I'm not looking at this about who I would want as a fan, how I personally feel. I'm just looking at the big payoffs. What's going to be best for your business. I still see to go in there to take care of business, to get rid of Moxley, finally get that championship away from the Death Riders, put what so many feel has just been a god awful run as champion, a bad storyline, put that to bed. Why not have it be your cowboy, the guy, that gunslinger that's out there to get everything done, who's one of your originals, who was there in that very first championship match, couldn't get it done. You're looking to turn a new page here, no pun intended. Make a big moment. You're in Texas. You got a cowboy style SOB. That's perfect stage for somebody like Hangman.
Yeah, I see way more money in Hangman than I do see Ospreay, at least at this point in time. And plus, making Hangman the man.
Right. I think that's the direction, and I think there's so many ways you can go with that. I think it was you that kind of mentioned that we get that final, like you've been to war so many times with someone, you finally get that respect. So maybe Swerve's there to help him.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's something goes down where he's getting beat down by the Death Riders. Swerve comes in to save his back, and then they have that handshake moment.
Right. It's that finally, like, we've been to war so many damn times. And as we talked about too, they have such a common enemy that they both despise so much that they have to come together to get rid of.
And you have
it's kind of like a Russia and the United States coming together to get rid of the Nazis, to defeat Germany.
Yep. And you have a wrestling equivalent there too. Dusty and Nikita.
And you could go back and revisit those two in like a Respect Best Out of 7 series or something like that. And I think with Ospreay, I don't know where you would go with him there, but it seems with that audience, he's just that moveset. Anyone you can get him to go out there with and just can go 20 minutes in a moveset, they're going to eat up. All right.
Truth is fucking. I love Truth so much. That's a good question. I'm not sure about the status of Wardlow.
Well, remember, I threw out on Wednesday, hey, could Max and Wardlow bury their hatchet and have Wardlow come back and those two team up to take on the Hurt Syndicate? All right, here's a question for you guys. I love that segment right there with R-Truth. He's still got the Covenant Gold, but you get the seriousness from him. How dare anybody question, threaten John Cena? There, he just said John Cena's the last real champ because John Cena said that. He wouldn't lie to us. That's his childhood hero.
And what's even great too is everybody else understands, gets R-Truth and realizes he's our truth. He's just being him.
All right, so let me ask you this, and for the chat as well here. How much would you guys pop? Maybe I'm way off base here. Would you use one of Cena's matches, let's say on a Saturday night's main event, because we've got 2 of them here coming up, to maybe do John Cena versus R-Truth?
Yes, absolutely. Do it.
I think that's perfect for a Saturday night's main event.
That is a great Saturday night's main event match.
Who we got here? Escobar?
Well, you have R-Truth put up a great fight, but Cena just goes dirty and beats him.
And to get to that point, you're going to have something happen where Cena absolutely devastates and breaks R-Truth's heart. Just shatters the little boy inside.
Remember when right after Stone Cold turned heel, he beat the shit out of JR? And the whole thing, remember Vince McMahon on the stage? That's not enough, Austin. Open him up.
Yeah, I try to block that out. That was one of the worst turns in the history of wrestling. We talk about the greatest turns. That one was nowhere near it. I don't know if you remember it. I mean, just watching it, I remember I was at the party, the friends I was with, and we just looked at like a little piece of like wrestling just died then. Like, and not in a good way. It was like, okay, we can start tuning out.
I remember
Our era's over.
I remember watching that live going like, wait, Austin shaking hands with Vince and sharing a beer. What this goes against everything that, again, I understand and get the story they were trying to tell, but it was never going to work.
Yeah. Checking my messages here. I don't think we had any more releases while the show's been going on. I'm sure we'll get more. Yeah, my friend Misty, for some reason, sent me an invite to Drag Queen Bingo. All right, that looks interesting. A comedy show with balls. All right, I like that tagline. I like it. I'm going to tell her I'm going. Drag Queen Bingo.
Just make sure there's an 18+ sign out there.
Hey, they're changing that in Ohio. The ban they had on some stuff, or it's going back to in front of the state government.
Dude, that. Oh.
I don't know. I didn't see the big issue on that. To ban the kids from. I just personally like. I'm not going to take my nephews to one. You know, I mean, that should be like a parental decision, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, it's drag is it's 100% adult. That's adult themed. Like I can't tell you
that could be like the same reason like you wouldn't take a kid to a strip club then, or
yes, exactly.
like
You wouldn't.
I've never been to one of those shows, so I don't know what happens.
Yeah, I would throw that under the exact same category. Like you don't bring a minor to a strip club. Same thing.
Okay, then that makes sense. I understand that, but you know, to me, it was like, all right, are you just saying this because they're a different lifestyle? Yeah, I don't want to just.
It is a. At the end of the day, drag is
suggestive.
It is sexual in nature.
Okay, yeah, I've never seen anything that they've done, so outside of maybe watching like 10 minutes of RuPaul's drag show or something like that, just out of curiosity. I will say this: working at a drag strip for drag racing, whenever I need to find like stock photos or look something up online, it's almost fucking impossible. Everything you put in for search for that, for especially stock photos, you get drag queens. And especially since the RuPaul show is called Drag Race, so when I'm trying to search for drag racing, it's a pain in the dude. We our marketing team and design team, we joke about that all the time. Rockers. I know Miss Savers means Rockets 53-48 at half.
I think if you put in a stock car, I think if you throw in stock car in the search, I think it might help you out too. That might help.
But stock car can be different kinds of racing.
Oh yeah, true. Damn.
All right, we got our NBA update. Rockets up at the half. Keep our eyes on that as the Warriors are looking to close out. What do we got here? Hockey. The quest for Lord Stanley's Cup. Winnipeg. The Jets are up 3-2 in the series on the Blues, but the Blues.
How are the Blues doing tonight?
Oh, it's no. 16:25 left in the third, and the Blues are up 5-1. So it looks like they're going to push again to 7. Oh yeah, you want St. Louis, baby.
Dude, I will never ever forget the 2019 Stanley Cup Finals. That shit wasn't, or that entire like last half of that season leading into the playoffs. The Blues were in
Go
last
Blues,
place.
man.
Yeah, last place, and all of a sudden they like change their entire lineup up. They go from last place to winning the Stanley Cup. And then they fuck with that formula. I'm like, that formula took you from last place to a Stanley Cup. Why are you screwing with that?
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, the Blues were my team in NHLPA on Super Nintendo, 93 and 94 season. That was my team.
That was my team too. I love playing them on 94. I never played 93, but I played 94. I think I played 94 on the Sega because that one.
Sega was a little bit better. It had a little better game control. Yeah.
And it let you trade players. Or was it 95? I forgot which one.
I think that was 95.
Okay. Yes, I put on the Blues, I put Brett Hull, Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux,
son of a bitch.
Jaromir Jagr, Brendan Shanahan. That was my five right there.
Yeah, so I 94 was what I played the most, and we would go back and forth between the Super Nintendo and the Genesis. I think, we ended up playing more on the Genesis because that was one of those. Genesis, for the most part, was better for the sports games.
It did seem to be.
Well, I think it was just, that was the style of the Genesis. It was more, it was a faster pace gaming system, because everything with Sonic, the marquee, that was built around the speed.
We need to get a Sonic and Mario movie, pal.
The crossover. I do enjoy the Sonic movies.
Dude, how crazy was it that when the first trailer for the first Sonic movie came out, like Sonic was designed so bad, everybody threw a hissy fit about it. They redid it, and then it ended up turning into a huge success.
Right.
Almost like listening to your customers is a good thing.
Yeah, but as long as they're not loudmouth pricks like wrestling fans that don't know what they're talking about.
Right, and in this case, the customers were right. The studio made the right call and catered to the customers, and it paid off.
You know what? This is interesting. Next week, I might have to think about going to this. SmackDown is right up the road, May 9th in Dayton.
Ooh.
And they've got Cena. He's scheduled to appear.
Hey, if you can get some tickets, pal, or I'd say at least wait till they drop the prices.
Nah, I just called my boys at XVW. I know some promotions up there.
Oh, nice. That's true, Gam. You can't put that past them. Like intentionally put out something that looks like shit, rile up the crowd. Like, okay, we got something better.
Hey, get the hype machine, and then be like, they're all along knew they were going to have something else.
I mean, it spawned at least 2 sequels and possibly even a third that's coming up.
Well, then you got some of the different spinoffs because you got the Nux movie. Oh, they've all said that in the past. Yeah, they're listening all right. A lot of these matches, and I understand, I know we were talking about this going to 2 hours. It's going to be so refreshing. But it's like you look up, you're like, you're into these things, and we're sitting there talking about other things I'm watching, and then I look away and I look back and I can't believe it's still going on.
Like, why is this match still going?
Oh, come on, that should have been it. The swing back into the ring, into the or the side thrust kick into the head. That should have been it.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Hey, if I go to Dayton, I'll be more excited about getting. They got some good sub shops up there. Good sandwich shops.
Oh, nice. Oh, dude. One thing I've heard about St. Louis is that I didn't even realize this. Apparently, we're unique about when it comes to sandwich shops. Like, we have so many sandwich shops in our area.
Well, what's special about it?
I don't know. I think it's a lot of the cultural blending because it's right at the center of the Mississippi River.
Well, we're asking AI. We're going to find out. Ooh, a couple of these that pop up, their sandwiches look damn good, though.
Oh, dude, a lot of great sandwich places around here. It's like, shit, okay, I want a sandwich. Okay, shit, where do I go?
See, in Cincinnati on the west side, we have double deckers, which is like cold cuts on regular bread, but they're huge, like sandwiches big as your head. But it's hard to find like really, really good like subs, grinders, hoagies. Food St. Louis is famous for. What do you got for me, A1? Well, all right. Well, all right. So you being the homeboy there, we'll do a little trivia here as we wait for Cinco de Mayo here to wrap up their match.
We got some good barbecue.
Hold on. All right. So what would you guess? You talked about a few of these here. What do you think's number one? Your number one.
Toasted ravioli.
Yeah, you got it, buddy. Show me toasted ravioli. Ding, 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 ding. Number one on the board. For better or worse, St. Louis pizzas too.
I kind of figured that one.
How about your gooey butter cake?
Yep.
And here's a sandwich, pork steaks.
Yep.
Right? Is that served as a sandwich?
Mm-hmm.
Often served with a tangy barbecue. Actually, that fucking sounds good.
Yeah, there's one like small sandwich chain. I think they got like five, maybe 6 locations in the St. Louis area. It's called Gioia's Deli. They specialize in hot salami.
Oh yeah, give me that hot salami.
Yeah, they got all kinds. They got an Italian. That's one I go for, the big Italian. They got roast beef. They got turkey. They got ham with the hot salami. It's
Hey baby, give me that hot salami.
And they serve it too on a grilled cheese bun.
Pork steak with a sandwich. All right, no surprise there. And that's another thing when these matches go long and we know the outcome. I think that was what the good thing about the enhancement talents were. You know, like we knew, and that's okay, but it didn't just prolong.
Right. It was a showcase for, the guy they're trying to get over.
Yeah, but I think, in there, man, I know that, again, they've got all this time. So, I keep forgetting we got this. This is the main event. Oh, Byron, you sneaking up on some girls like that?
You know what? I'm going to go look that up, cold-blooded. That might have been us. I don't know.
What happened? I keep flipping out of our text box. Whichever city came up with the barbecue mixed with mac and cheese. I feel that would be across the board. Like everybody would have done that. Throw everything together, man. Especially late at night. You come back to the party. Fuck, what do we got? Throw it all into one bowl, man.
Ask Google.
Right. That is delicious.
All right. You got the state right, it looks like, according to the Google AI. It's actually Kansas City.
Well, they're close. You guys are close to each other in your barbecue.
Yeah, the only thing separating us is how much of I-70 goes across Missouri.
Yeah, so it's similar. It's similar styles of barbecue. Yeah, I used to go over to Smoky Bones, and they had a barbecue Sunday. So it started with it was in like a ice cream sundae glass. So it was, a lot of fun having it. But it had a layer of pulled pork barbecue. Then it had a mac and cheese. Then it had a brisket. and then it had coleslaw on the top, and then it had a smoked sausage that was stuck into the damn thing. Freaking amazing. Loved it.
Man, that sounds amazing. But some of the best places I've seen are the ones I found on the road just traveling. I've never been to before, probably never will see again, but we're on the road on, doing shows. It's like, hey, let's try it out. There was this place in Iowa that had like a double patty grilled cheeseburger that had a knife stuck through it when they served it to you. And then on the bottom half of the burger, 2 giant ass onion rings. On the top half of the burger, 2 giant ass onion rings.
I know I got a picture of that one. Let me see if I can find it on my Facebook real quick. While they're on break. Yeah, man, you throw anything together like that, man, just throw it all in one bowl. I'm freaking down. I ain't got time to figure out which bite I want. Just give it all to me. I should be able to find it because I think I had a barbecue appreciation post not too long ago with a little hashtag RBV Eats Out. All right, so we learned about the St. Louis pork sandwich. We learned about the Pittsburgh pizza tonight. Talking a little barbecue. White Castles. We got the order. Who was it? Wolfers that's going there for breakfast. White Castle breakfast.
Oh, dude,
hey, here's the thing, though. Wolfers, if you're still with us, it don't matter what time you go to White Castle. You can get their entire menu anytime. So
full menu?
Yeah. You get the full menu whenever the hell you want. So if you're at 6 a.m., you can get the regular sliders and all that stuff.
And what's even better is you go there during 6 a.m. They're cooking those sliders fresh.
There might be a line at 6 a.m. It'll depend on when the business is closed.
Or if you go during lunchtime, you get the breakfast fresh. Or lunch dinner.
They're usually turning stuff over so quick in there that you're going to get some fresh stuff. I know I got a freaking picture of this thing somewhere. If I don't, I'm going to smack myself. Or that just means I'll have to go get another one so I can get a picture of it. But I think it was a special that they had. I don't think it's a regular.
But you know how delicious the White Castle pickles are, right?
Again, I've never had them. I don't think they've been available in my market.
No, I mean like on the burgers.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Oh, hell yeah, man.
Those are the ones they use for the fried pickles.
Oh, yeah, those are probably amazing. I can't believe I had never had the fried pickles there.
Oh, dude, so good. And they were, well, it's before, all the price changes hit.
Well, next week I'm going with my little sister. We're going to get some fried pickles. She's a big pickle fan. So we're going to Popeyes, and they have got, right now they got a specialty menu where everything is like pickle flavored. So they got like a pickle flavored chicken sandwich. They've got pickle flavored wings. We're going to try those. They got the pickle chips. We're going to try those. And then they have a pickle flavored lemonade. That one's going to be interesting. Which I think if there's just a hint of it in there of the dill, I think that'll go over. But if it's overbearing, man, it might just be too much.
Yeah, when it comes, like if you're drinking a pickle flavored drink, like just a little bit of the flavor, not too much, that would ruin it.
Well, I always used to, instead of, your different chasers, pickle juice, especially with tequila, was always really, really good. Instead of, you hit the hot sauce, do your shot of tequila, and then you chase it with a pickle juice. I can't find this son of a bitch. So is this women's tag going to be the main event here this evening? Or are they going to squeeze something else in after this?
It looks, ooh.
Or do we have something in between here? Is this just
we got a TLC video package from last week.
Now, this is one of those things that I can't find, and it's absolutely just annoying the shit out of me. Was a pretty cool finish. I will give them that.
Yeah, but there's still some crazy spots, like taking bumps on the pointed upsides of the chair. Like, bro.
Someone just did that the other night too. What was it on Dynamite or was it on Raw? Oh, it was on Dynamite. It was Claudio.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, during the somebody give a fan gave their prosthetic leg.
Yes.
Give me the old Mad Dog Vachon spot.
I got a lot of other badass food I'm scrolling by to try to find this son of a bitch.
Oh man, that shit always sucks. Cold blood, like property laws and. Ugh.
I will share this one with everybody. So, like in Cincinnati, I don't see these many other places, but we have like a lot of like. So we got Andrade having some words here. Oh, White Castle's down there saying they got rid of him. So this is a double-decker sandwich that we have here in Cincinnati that we're known for. You get whatever kind of meat you want on there, and then your cheese, your toppings, your onions, and all that. I usually do a roast beef and ham. Usually try to get like extra onion with some cheese on there. I mean, those things are fucking huge, dude. I mean, you can't get your mouth around them.
Yeah, that's kind of a problem. I gotta have something delicious enough that I can actually fit in my mouth.
No, you gotta compress that son of a bitch or like unhinge, man. Go boa constrictor on that son of a bitch.
Oh yeah, I now remember another great sandwich place in our area. I think there's only like one location called Fozzie's. Oh, they're amazing. I always get their Italian grinder.
Fozzie's Italian. That's my go-to, man. I love the Italians.
Yeah, mine too. Like, give me some salami, capicola, pepperoni, ham, mortadella.
There you go, man. Wade just putting over next week. Going to be in Dayton, Ohio.
Jade Cargill versus Nia Jackson, one contenders. How much you want to bet that turns into a Smosh finish and turns into a fatal four-way?
I'm going to agree with that as well. Well, we got the big old setup for it right here.
Yep. That's a good one. For me, Roddy Piper.
What's the question?
Old school wrestler you guys really liked. And Chad led off with Nikita Koloff.
An old school wrestler that I really liked. My first favorite wrestler, and I actually did. I was kind of timing out. So I started watching wrestling before WrestleMania. So but what really my fan of, which where I really fell in love was WrestleMania 3. But my first favorite wrestler was Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. For a few reasons. I love this gimmick. You know, he was the awesome baby face. How could you not love the guy there? Cool ass gimmick, you know, the karate stuff. And as a kid who had the same name. He's Ricky, I'm Ricky. That was my first favorite. And then I became a total little warrior. Talking, running around in my tighty whities. I'd always pull my shoelaces out of my shoes and tie them around my arms, have my mom paint my face. Then about fifth grade, sixth grade, is your own styles, your own personality change. Fell in love with the Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
Woo!
Drop the K from my name, so it'd just be RIC. Yeah, so I think it's I'm sure everybody as you go through the phases of your life, who you're relatable with, which who speaks to you. So Flair, still to this day, one of arguably my favorite. Big Pillman guy, love Brian Pillman from the Flying Brian days. First time I seen him, again that was so cool because he was like the first one. Like, hey, shit, man, he played for my favorite football team, the Bengals. Yeah, he's from Cincinnati. I had been to, I knew where Norwood was. I knew the streets where he lived, where he grew up, things that he did, and where he played high school football. That he played for the Bengals, so that was super cool.
You want to hear? What was it? It was a long time ago that Russo said this. You know who he said he felt like epitomized what the Attitude Era was all about? Brian Pillman.
Yeah, a lot of way. I mean, it was him, and it was how he lived, man.
How much money you want to bet that if he would not have died, he would have been a world champion?
I don't know. I'm not sure. He would have maybe a short run where it would have been real quick, a turnaround. I don't think they would have gone a prolonged one. He didn't really need it, but he would have had some, especially not just that he didn't die, but the injury. I think they would have worked around. He would have been fine. They would have worked some smart matches. But if he would have had no limitations, well, maybe without the injury, he might not have died because obviously he had some other vices, but didn't need the painkillers and all that. Maybe life would have been a little bit better or a little bit different for him. But just the epic programs that he would have had with Austin.
Dude, him and Austin would have been like a prolonged feud with them would have been money.
But yeah, I mean, you kind of look at how that might shift the reality. That might have been, what we're talking about with him and The Rock. Maybe The Rock never gets that spot because Austin doesn't need it because Hillman's there.
Dude, that's true too. And how much and Pillman could have easily been the baby face in that feud.
So I know I still think you keep Austin as the anti-hero, and even the more villainous Brian Pillman, that would have just worked,
Yeah, now you put it that way, that does make a lot more sense. You got Pillman as his unhinged, violent lunatic, and Austin as an ever say die babyface. Like, I don't give a shit what you throw at me. I'm gonna keep coming. Or, like you pulled a gun on me. I still broke into your house and came at you.
Or as the ultimate opportunist that Brian was, is he someone that Bischoff tries to go persuade to come back with a shit ton of money, and he takes that offer to just get that big payday?
Oh, did you hear that? Like Bischoff, I think to this day, Bischoff believes that Brian was still going to stick to the original plan of he goes to several different promotions and then eventually comes back to WCW, right, like with the Outlaw Horsemen.
Right. I've heard Bischoff talk about that. So maybe that's what he does. He's working that complete system.
True, and sadly his, early passing, we will never truly know the answer to that question because the only person who knows the answer to that is Brian.
Right.
What were really his intentions? Was he going to, not follow through with Bischoff's plan and save the WWF?
You know what, dude? I just has to be a minute because these entrances are taking like 15 minutes and fucking selves.
Yeah, no, this is ridiculous.
Oh, Tiffy's birthday.
One or two wrestlers we don't get.
I'm big on Joe Henry. I think there's a lot of potential there. Love the marketing side of him. I like LA Knight. Cut his teeth right here in Cincinnati, so I'm always going to be partial to him. Yeah. Wrestlers that I don't get. I don't know if there's any like in top spots that'll get. Obviously a couple I talked about here. Right now, it's getting a lot of time is Aleister Black. Just no connection for me. Never has been. Trying to think maybe some all-time ones that You know what? This is a big one, and I'll say this here because this is like I've never left wrestling, but I have stopped paying attention to WWE, and I'm always thankful in ways because I actually started watching more OVW, and I started finding more indies around this time. But we saw, mainly it was a lot because of the alliance angle, the invasion stuff. That was terrible to me. But I lost a lot of interest in WWE product when they went to the ruthless aggression smaller, like the Eddie Guerreros, the Benoits. I just didn't get those guys as main eventers. It just wasn't for me. As I grew up with these larger than life sons of bitches from the rock and wrestling era into the attitude era, which was the same with the next generation when they passed the torch to Sean and Brett. I started paying a lot more attention to WCW at that time because I was more familiar with those guys, and also around that time. So like, you know, I'm hitting my tween the teen years, so I discovered pussy. So wrestling took a backseat.
Whew. Yeah, that's a tough one. So I'll say this, but like I first became a fan like around like late winter 2000s.
Oh,
so I
shit,
came in.
dude. So that's when you started watching.
Yeah. So I like.
God damn,
like
man! I had like fucking almost 20 years on you, man.
Yeah, like the
Like
earliest
15, 17 years on you.
Yeah. So like the earliest memory I can think of when it comes to watching wrestling, or the earliest memories I can think of is a hardcore match between Big Boss Man and Test where they fought to the backstage, and Big Boss Man shoved like a bay door gate on Test's neck when they're fighting in the backstage. And then like the night after, I think it was No Way Out 2000, where the Hardy Boys confronted the APA in their backstage makeshift office and flipped their poker table over.
Okay. Yeah, so you really caught the back end of the Attitude Era.
Yeah, like I played funny things, like I played WrestleMania 2000 like for a little bit, and I'm like, okay, this is actually kind of fun. I'm gonna start watching the show. But this was like, months after the game was released. I'm like, where's Ken Shamrock? Why is he not on the show?
Oh, so you had some people on it. And I was looking at like where I started watching, falling in love with wrestling. And I think I was actually, before I really got into the product, it was more about the toys and the cartoon, the Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling cartoon. And the toy line, because you had the big figures, you had the thumb figures. I like the Hulk Hogan workout set. I remember that was one of the first ones that I had. But even then, what was confusing, so when I started watching the product, like the actual, the wrestling shows, the cartoons were like the product had moved so much. So like a lot of on the cartoon, the baby faces had turned heel. So it was like confusing to a kid, like, wait a minute. The cartoon, these guys are Hogan's best friend. Now they're all kicking his ass, Very confusing for a 5-year-old. And that on the Hulk Hogan workout set, the guy who did all the advertising for it was Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah, now today, somehow, with shows taped like weeks in advance, TNA and NXT somehow managed to keep continuity and stay on the same page.
Right. Well, if they weren't thinking about that stuff back then. All right, so you come in 2000, so I'll get your perspective on this and a little plug. Tomorrow, outside of recording the Smack Attack, which you can catch live right here on the Hami Media Group YouTube channel. GBT and I will be on about 1 o'clock. We're welcome to join us. So if you're awake, I know your schedule. I know you're a night owl, brother. But I'm going to be recording a special bonus episode of the 10 Count, where each and every week I partner up with John Paz from the Two Man Power Trip. We do 10 topics, 10 conversations. We're in and out 30 minutes, like a TV style format. But we're going to do a 10 count episode of Who Is. So it'll be 10 topics of who is on your Mount Rushmore of women. Who is the greatest manager of all time? The best fan base, territory wise. So we got a bunch of those. But I ask you this, since we're talking about it. what is more for this one, the greatest era of professional wrestling? Those that are still with us in the chat, we want to chime in.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a little different because and I think it's the ones that you personally lived through mean a lot more to you, that you got to actually see how great they are.
True, and at the same time, the era that I lived through was also the same one that kind of propelled and got them to the next level. But at the same time, going back to WrestleMania era, Hulk Hogan when he took it off of Iron Sheik,
and then rock and wrestling and
rock and wrestling, and going back to the early WWF days, the territories. Like, man, each of those eras was a very important building block into getting us to where we are now. So
right,
that's tough.
I'm stuck just because of nostalgia reasons. It's either going to be the rock and wrestling, just as a kid falling in love, but I'm leaning towards the attitude. And mainly that's because it did change the sport, but it was one of those where it truly crossed over. I mean, it became the thing in culture.
You know what? I'll say this. I think the greatest wrestling era was the WrestleMania / NWA Starrcade era in the early, mid, late 80s.
Yeah, so I usually dubbed the second golden era, the rock and wrestling phase.
Because if we didn't have that, there would have been no Monday Night Wars.
I see that. That's good. Some good points with it. That's my second one. But I'm gonna that attitude because that's where WWE or wrestling itself, because it's so important with the wars, with WCW, what it was doing, with ECW as well, where wrestling became the forefront of culture. What's so incredible, we think it's unheard of now, but wrestling on Monday was kicking the shit out of the NFL ratings.
Oh, dude, I remember. I think it was sometime in like late summer of '99. The top, they released like the top 4 highly rated, like most watched TV shows of the week. Number 1, Raw. Number 2, Heat. Number 3, Nitro. I forgot number 4 was. I think 4 might have been Smack. 4 might have been Smack. 4 might have been Thunder or SmackDown. I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean they were everywhere, and you had the wrestlers. They were prominent in crossover stuff. They were at other major sporting events. I mean, if you guys remember, MTV had celebrity death matches and all that stuff. The claymation stuff.
Yeah, and Stone Cold was the commissioner of that.
Was he? I remember being involved. Okay, I remember being involved.
Yeah, he was
in some of the episodes.
Yeah, he was like, this is during when he was off WWF TV because of the neck injury from the neck surgery. So he started doing stuff for making appearances as or doing the voice acting as a commissioner for Celebrity Deathmatch.
All right, I remember he had like a few spots in there, but I didn't remember like they had like an official title or something.
He did have a Vince McMahon. He did have a match where his claymation puppet faced Vince McMahon, which was voiced by Vince McMahon.
Well, this guy, it was all the Universal family. They had a great working relationship. I don't know what it is. My whole back of my head felt like I had sunburn on it today.
Oh yeah, NYPD Blue. Yeah, you can't flip-flop guys like that because then you stop caring.
All right, so tonight, Jacob Fatu will defend his U.S. title in a fatal 4-way match at Backlash. We know that. Tonight's big headline. I like how they do that with these. They give you the headlines. They give you the results. She already had her rematch. I guess we're supposed to forget about it because it was like 6 weeks ago. And the return of John Cena next week. Guess it'll be his last stop in Southern Ohio.
Yeah, I'd say get a ticket. And report back live.
I'll say if I go there, I have to, because I know I'm off the track next Friday because we have tuna tests on Thursday because we got a special event on Friday. I don't have to work. Oh, wait till you see this. That was a nice move. Nice takedown by Tiffy. Brought some force on that.
Oh, the crucifix bomb?
Yeah.
No, I liked it. It worked. Like she used like the momentum in her favor.
Chad asking about Fatu turning face. Kind of like we were talking about with Dom. You're going to get the cheers. People are loving him. Don't mess with the character. Just continue to let him be what he is. Let the werewolf be that. Don't do any of the pandering. Don't wait for the pauses, for the pops. Just continue to let him be what he is and just generate a reaction.
There's one thing I learned when I worked at Jimmy John's. One of their big before they got bought out, when they're still like OG, they're OG corporate, I should say. One of their big things was don't fuck with the formula. Don't fuck with the recipe. Now, if it comes time to change it, like with Dom, and all of a sudden the fans are cheering them, they're behind them, they're ready for the face turn, that's when you pull the trigger. Not a second beforehand.
I don't think you just mess with the character. Just let them generate whatever noise they want. Jimmy Johnson, great story. Hey, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he does a dark spot there. Just pop that home audience.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he will. Yeah, it would not be. Yeah, I guarantee they probably got Seth back there to do a dark spot.
Because only 10 o'clock there, right?
Yeah, it's about to turn, about to turn 10 over here. Yeah, they're in they're in the same time zone as us, or as me.
It is a little rough to sit through these 3-hour shows and then expect that, a crowd to hang out for a dark match. Friday, maybe not, but especially on that Monday, because you got a lot of families, man. You need to see those kids are dead beat, man. They've given it their all. They were cheering, having a blast. You get to that main event, those poor little tykes, man. They are ready to go home.
I want to go home. Back again. Shady's back.
Ooh.
Ooh, how about this? Cena eats a chili dog in Dayton, but it's not a Skyline.
Nah, man, it's all the love. And Dayton's not really it's not really the Cincy's chili place. Yeah, he wouldn't get that heat up there.
So how about this? Best fast food chili. Steak and Shake.
Nah, man. Fucking Cincy style, man. But I do love Steak and Shake chili.
Well,
all the Steak and Shakes are gone here.
Yeah, I'm talking about like the best like fast food chain.
Well, I would go with Frisch's, but those are all closing too. Frisch's big boy.
Oh, yeah, I have not.
You see this here? Wait till she hits her with a running power bomb.
I think I just saw that. The one off the top rope?
Yeah.
Yep, just saw it.
You know what they didn't mention? I don't think, because I got my sound down a little bit, which means I'm going to have to go back and listen to some of the sound for tomorrow for the review, but they didn't play into all that the kind of family ties between Naomi married into the Samoan family that's Nia Jackson's family.
All right, that would actually be a good hook to make them a heel tag team, in my opinion.
Right.
And then you go with the mutual respect babyface with Tiffy and Cargill.
Oh, we got a little standoff here. Oh, here we go. That's broken up.
Although I think with how well Naomi's been doing though with this new character and gimmick.
Yeah, maybe don't even want to bring attention to it. I would close it out with the ladies.
Yeah, I think Naomi's the dark horse in this because she's really coming into her own with this new character, in my opinion.
Promotional consideration. All right, next Friday in Dayton. So either I'll be here or I'll be there. I guess I can log in either way if we get some service up there, right? The Michigan colors, yeah, that might work. They've been kind of color coding everything where they're at, but I think he'll get some heat. I think he'll just get some natural heat here, man. This doesn't seem like a Cena state.
Oh, show, pal. Whew, all right, and that's another 3-hour SmackDown watch along in the books, pal. It was a total of, I think, 3 belts or 4. What's it 4? I don't remember.
4.
4. Yep, 4.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Nowhere near the 13 that we saw on Wednesday.
No.
All right, buddy. I'm going to jump real quick. I do want to ask everybody, or just let everybody remind everybody, tomorrow 1 p.m. Right back here on the channel, Jimmy T and I, we're going to be actually talking. We watch, we do talk, but we bring other things. But we're going to have the review. We got some headlines. We got some smack talk we're going to be hitting up. But don't mean to jet real quick. I'll let you do the sign up, but I got to fold some laundry and I got to get my ass to bed. I'll send you the link tomorrow if you want to join us, though, my friend. I thank you. And if I don't talk to you, see you before then, I will catch up with you for Monday night watch along.
Sounds good, pal.
All right, man. I'll talk to you.
Take care.
All right. See you, Army.
Whoop, whoop. All righty. So, yeah, our schedule for the rest of the week. Tomorrow, of course, like he said, we got the Smack Attack. Unfortunately, I will not be able to attend that. I have to work that afternoon. But I will be checking that out during my Sunday commute or during doing deliveries. Great content for that. And then Saturday night, we got HMG After Dark. We're going to be doing, the plan is to do Lucha Underground. If we can't do that, it will be Clerks. And then Sunday, we got The Wreckage. Sunday night, HMG After Dark. Again, if we can't do Lucha Underground, we'll be doing Mallrats. And then Monday, Locker Room, Raw Watch Along, Impact Attack. As far as tonight goes, we're going to be going crashing for tonight. Always a pleasure getting to hang and chill with you guys. Much love. Yes, sir. Hope your rest of your night's great. Cold-blooded. Whoop, whoop. Take care, guys. Always a pleasure. Yeet, yeet. Hope to catch you later. Whoop, whoop. Yay, pal.